Yo, what's the deal? What's the deal? Just testing out the Wi-Fi right now. What's up, what's up, what's up? We're looking real crazy, but it's all good. Again, we're testing out the Wi-Fi on this little Wi-Fi connection. What's up, what's up? What's the deal? What's the deal, everybody? What's up, Green Revolution, Luna? I see you, I see you. What's up, Marvin and Magi? I see y'all. What's the deal? What's the deal? What's up, Moon Spirit? You know what I mean? I give the salutes to everybody who's been tuning in. What's up, Grand Inquisitor? What's up, what's up? You know? So y'all see, as y'all see, all you can do is look at my face. You already know what I've been going through, right? So we've been traveling the city of Vegas day and night, getting it in. Yeah, what's up, Savage God? You know what I mean? I'm letting the hair grow out. As you can see, it's curled up. Letting the beard grow in. You know what I mean? We're doing it. Fasting, I'm fasting on and off. You know what I mean? I'm just mainly drinking water. I'm not eating too much food. You know what I mean? You already know how we do. We got to get it in. We got to study up. You know what I mean? Taking ourselves to a higher plateau. If y'all remember the last video I did. You know what I mean? Now, what's up, Alicia? Now, I didn't plan to speak about anything, right? I'm just testing out I'm just seeing if it works. You know what I mean? Because normally I be on the little 4G. Normally I be on my 4G, but I'm just testing out the Wi-Fi, so I wasn't even planning on talking. I just wanted to see if it would work. But if y'all want me to go in, y'all already know we can go in. You know, we can go in if y'all want me to. It ain't no thing. If y'all just want to know what's up, you know what I mean? We can go in. Y'all let me know what's the deal. Y'all let me know what y'all been up to. You know what I mean? I can speak about anything. We can go in. It is what it is. You know what I mean? We always prepared for the greatness. All right, so I guess I can just update y'all. You know, before anybody asks any questions. Yeah, I know it's pretty late. It's about it's almost 8 p.m. on the West Coast, so yeah, it's about like 11 p.m. on the East Coast, I believe. If my time zones are not fading me. I believe the East Coast is 3 hours ahead. 7:40, whatever time it is. Salute to you. I know it's pretty late. Yeah, 10:40 on the East. All right. But actually, you know, it's kind of loud. So let me kind of move over here. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Let me move. Let me show y'all. Hold on. So we on the east side of Vegas. Y'all see the stratosphere right there? You know what I mean? We're on the east side. But anyway, let me move over here so y'all can hear me a little bit better. Let me move out the way. So hopefully the signal don't fade. Give me 1 second. Get over here. All right. All right, we good right here. You know what I mean? Obviously, you see the palm trees and all that. And we still on the West Coast. So like I said, you know what I mean? I'm probably having live streams. It's been a couple weeks. Let's see if y'all can see these mountains. Hold on. I don't know if y'all can. All right, here. All right, sorry about that. The Wi-Fi just switches itself. So sorry about that. We back in. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Cause it's a library right across the street. So the Wi-Fi, you know, just be jumping all over the place. But we back in here. You know what I mean? I wasn't just gonna leave y'all like that. We good. We good. So like I said, let me give y'all a quick update. You You know what I mean? If y'all want to know, like I said, we just letting the hair grow out. You know what I mean? We keeping everything clean. You know what I mean? Look a little bit messy, it is what it is. You know what I mean? We just on our sage ship. You know what I mean? So, like I said, we just been traveling the city. You know what I mean? We've been traveling north to south, east to west, just seeing what's going on. You know what I mean? Oh yeah. For those who don't follow the community tab, that's where I update everybody. I update everybody through the community tab, whether you're on, because I know everybody's not on Facebook. Everybody's not on Facebook. So if you're not on Facebook, definitely check out the community tab. So I'll be leaving little notes here and there just to keep everybody updated. Just in case for those who may not be in tune, that's how I update everybody if I'm not actually doing live streams. I update everybody through the community tab. So definitely stay in tune with the community tab if you really want to know what's going on with me, because I update at least a couple times a week. You know what I mean? So definitely check out the community tab if you don't have me on Facebook, just to let everybody know. So if y'all want to keep up. But like I said, we've been traveling. The link, I'm not sure how the community tab works for the people watching. You know what I mean? It's a new YouTube feature. Like, it's a recent, I believe they only started doing it within these last couple months, right? So I just know, like, for me to get to the community tab, I have to click on my profile picture. Like, when I go into the YouTube app, I have to click on my profile picture. Then I have to click on my channel. So I guess you have to go to the person's channel. So whoever you following, you have to go to the person's channel, click on their channel. Then as you see, it's like the home button, it's videos and it's playlists. Then it will have a community tab. So you got home, video, playlist. You probably have something else. Then you have the community tab. So when you click on the community tab, then you will be able to see my updates. You know, so the same thing I post on Facebook, I'll post on the YouTube community tab, so y'all can see what's going on with me. Peace and love, peace and love. But I did speak on XXX. I did speak on that because somebody's asking me in the comments, what do I think about the conspiracy theory and all that? I did speak about that. Now, I didn't speak about the conspiracy theory because people were saying, like, you know, there was no blood, no shattered windows. The death scene looks kind of odd. You know what I mean? It don't look like he just got hit up with bullets and all that. Now, I haven't truly looked too deep into it just yet, because like I said, I've been moving around a lot, so I haven't really had time to be on the internet as much as I used to. You know what I mean? Usually I would just be in the house, so I'd be up on everything before everybody else. So I really haven't had time to study it in depth. So I'm not going to speak on the conspiracy theories because I have not studied it in depth. All I do, I've just heard certain things from other people, but I have not done any research myself. So I don't want to speak about it just yet. I got to do a little bit more study. But now that I see that I can live stream using this Wi-Fi, I probably could have did this, you know what I mean, weeks ago. I just wasn't thinking about it. You know what I mean? As you go through the process, just certain things start to click. So I just one day like, wait, let me actually, you know, try to live stream while I'm out and about. So even though I'm away from home, you know what I mean, I can still tune in, give y'all updates. So it just clicked one day like, yo, try it out. So here it is, I'm trying it out. Turns out it works out. So no problem, you know what I mean? So I'll definitely be at y'all a little bit more often. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to be doing it every day, because, again, I may not be in the same area. Like I said, most of the time I'm traveling all over the city. So one day I may be on the east side. Next day I may be on the west side. Next day I may be in the north. Next day I may be about the strip and all that. And I'm not sure how all these signals work. But now that I see it works, I'm definitely going to see, you know, where I can be and position myself so I can give y'all more accurate updates. But as I said, definitely check the community tab if I'm not live streaming, so y'all can see what's going on. You know what I mean? Yeah, so definitely stay in tune. You know what I mean? Because I'm definitely got a lot of things coming. You know what I mean? I'm finally about to write the book. You know what I mean? So many people's been asking me, yo, write a book, write a book, write a book, write a book. So I finally decided I'm going to write a book. So for those who don't know, if you follow me on Facebook or the community tab, you already know that. But for those who don't know, I'm gonna finally write the book. The title is Seership, S-E-E-R-S-H-I-I-P, Seership. What is it? I'm not even sure about I think it's, an introduction to the magical realities beyond sight. Now that's not definite, but that's the title I'm going with right now. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna definitely write the book. It'll be done about August. I'm gonna give myself a good 30 days, 45 days. You know, make sure I give y'all about 200 pages, give y'all, you know, a nice little chunk of information, you know, giving y'all some insight into, you know, how I see things beyond just, you know, doing these little short live stream videos and, you know, Facebook updates. So I'm definitely gonna put this information into a form where it can be studied more in depth. You know what I mean? So I'm definitely, excuse me, just letting y'all know what's going on in terms of with that. So, what's up? I see everybody. Again, like I said, I didn't expect to even, I wasn't even expecting this to work, but you know what I mean? We're gonna go in. So beyond that, beyond the book, you know, beyond obviously RIP Triple X, you know, Jimmy Wapo, you know what I mean? You know, we lost a couple rappers, you know, in the past couple days. You know what I mean? Happy Father's Day to those fathers, you know what I mean? Whether you in your child's life or out your child's life, in the state, out of state, however it go, however you got it set up. Appreciate all the fathers. What else is going on? You know what I mean? It's just been a lot going on. I know it's been weeks, so I done missed a whole lot of stuff. But you know what I mean? I'm slowly catching up. Now, again, if you saw the last live stream, it was just all about taking things to the next level. So I chose to come out here into the city and self-educate myself. So for those who want to know, like, what is the point of me doing this? I came out here to educate myself, because how else is there to learn? You know what I mean? Of course, I could read a bunch of books, but I say, let me go out into the city, you know, day and night, night and day. Let me go out into the city and let me educate myself on what's really going on out here. And I don't have to take nobody else's word for it. You know what I mean? I want to see things with my own eyes and have my own personal experiences. Because we already know, you know what I mean? Especially if we're talking about manifestation, we're talking about creation, we're talking about, you know, all these dynamics that go on around us. We know that everything is intensified when you're outside. You know what I mean? When you are within your home, you know, you're limited to what you can experience, obviously. You know what I mean? Or when you're at the job, you know what I mean? When you're in spaces that you're kind of confined, you're kind of limited on what you experience. So I said, let me just be out in the open and let me put my science to work, especially if I'm about to write a book. So let me go gather the information, let me put in the work, let me make sure that all this is accurate, let me make sure that it's tried and tested. I'm not just spewing out information that, you know, don't apply to anybody. Hold on. Somebody's sending me all type of messages, sorry about that. So right now I'm going through the trial phase, like, okay, I'm about to write this book, so let me put in the work to make sure that all the information is accurate, and whatever new information that I need to channel or digest, I can properly do it, because I'm out here amongst the people and amongst situations where, I don't know who this is. You know, people I be getting notifications about things that have nothing to do with me sometimes. You know, hold on, give me 1 second. Sorry about that. So, again, the whole point is to come out here, get some real life experience, so that I can so my pen can start working, you know what I mean? So I can talk about what just happened a week ago, or what happened 2 weeks ago, or what happened within the last month. I don't really have to go too far back into the past, even though, of course, you know what I mean, I want to emphasize certain points, but I'm not sure if I really want to make the book about myself. It's more so about the experience and how to tap into it, more so than what I have seen with my own eyes. Of course, I want to share certain experiences, but I don't really want to make it all about me. I want to make it like how it's more so like what do they call those things? Where you actually are being taught how to do something, more so than the teacher just speaking about themselves. The teacher is teaching you how to have the experience, not necessarily the same experience, but your own unique experience. You know what I mean? Because again, it's not about repeating. I'm not trying to repeat like what I was able to do a year ago or 2 years ago. I'm all about being in the moment, having new, unique experiences on a daily basis. You know what I mean? Living out that lifestyle, whether we want to call this lifestyle spirituality, whether we want to call this lifestyle hip-hop, whatever we want to call it. You know what I mean? Everybody is entitled to have their own viewership of what they consider their lifestyle to be. You know what I mean? Self-define yourself. So that's the message I definitely want to impart. Again, I don't want to take up too much time, but I definitely want to encourage everybody to define yourself. Don't allow anything outside of self to define self. You must define yourself. And the more and more you define yourself, the more and more things make sense to you and how you relate to the world. If you truly want to know how you relate to the world and the place you have in the world and the effect you can have on the world, you must define yourself. You know what I mean? We have to go beyond calling ourselves colors. You know what I mean? We must go beyond calling ourselves places that we have never been. You know what I mean? We can't call ourselves African American or black or white, Hispanic, Latino, all these words that was within the mind of another man or another woman. We must define ourselves. So that's why we say we're hip-hop. That's why we say we're spiritualists. You know what I mean? We're an occultist. We define ourselves. You know what I mean? We can't allow nobody else to define us, because when we define ourselves, that's when our experience becomes more unique. When we have a personalized experience. Because if we go around calling ourselves names that have nothing to do with us, then that limits what we can experience. If that makes sense. You limit yourself to what you can experience when we define ourselves, or when we put ourselves in a box that has nothing to do with us. That's somebody else's box that they created, and we chose to place ourselves within somebody else's definition or somebody else's box that has nothing to do with us. So what we're doing, we're climbing out of a box that has nothing to do with us, and we are defining ourselves, right? You know, people be doing all, you know, I'm gonna show everything, you know what I mean? Don't worry about it. But I'm definitely, again, you know, if anybody who know anything about Vegas, the east side is definitely the hood, you know what I mean? So we definitely straight in the hood, you know what I mean? Well, you see, we can go anywhere when we know who we are, you know what I mean? We don't have any fear. We can do what we want, right? Because y'all see, I'm out here, still alive, I haven't died, you know what I mean? Because people be thinking all type of crazy stuff. You know what I mean? Still alive, you know what I mean? We still on point, you know what I mean? We actually doing greater things, you know what I mean? Again, we about to put out information in a form that we never put out before. So hold on, let me read the comments. I'm not even paying attention. What's up, Leandro? What's up, Jory? What's up? It's the name of my Facebook, Instagram. The Facebook is, what is the Facebook? The Facebook is asharenu. The Instagram is Lord Asar. LORDASAR, and the Instagram is asharenu. Not the Facebook is asharenu. The Instagram is Lord Asar. It's best to become uncomfortable instead of being comfortable. I would say it's like, it's not necessarily about being uncomfortable. It's just not being comfortable in your comfort zone. That's how I would define it. Because we all have a comfort zone, and that's whatever our habits are on a daily basis. We all have a comfort zone, but it's all about expanding it. You are continuously expanding your comfort zone. That's what it's all about, is to continuously expand your kingdom. You know what I mean? You're not comfortable with what you have. You are constantly expanding. And first and foremost, we must expand our knowledge of who and what we are. Because truly, let me sit down. You know, we are truly an ancient people in modern times. In reality, we are truly an ancient people existing in modern times. This is why, you know, it's so much of a struggle to define who and what we are, because the world wants us to think, again, that we're just colors, or we're just this, or we're just that. We are truly ancient-minded people existing in modern times. That's why we cannot be defined by anything outside of self. That's why we have such a supreme consciousness to even be thinking on this level, to even do what we're able to do. I would not even be able to do what I'm able to do if I wasn't an ancient-minded person. You wouldn't even be able to perceive what I do or what countless others do. It's not just me, it's not just you, it's countless people that exist within this frequency. We wouldn't even be able to understand hip-hop music and to embrace hip-hop music, no matter who you consider your favorite artist. That's why as soon as I got on here, it was already asking me about Triple X, and I just call him Triple X because, again, I don't want to mispronounce his name. That's just the power of hip-hop. He was the chosen one amongst the youth. That's why his death had such a huge impact. They was going crazy in LA, for those who didn't know that. They was going crazy in LA. And they going crazy all around the world because he was the chosen one, because you can say he was like a younger version of Pac in his way and the way he did it. Not necessarily trying to walk in his footsteps, but in his own light, in his own uniqueness, in his own creativity. He was the chosen light, and that's why you can say that's why he had to get taken out. That's why Pac had to get taken out. That's why Big had to get taken out. That's why the greats had to get taken out. The Michael Jacksons, the Prince, the Sam Cookes, you know what I mean, the Marvin Gayes, the Jimi Hendrix. It's like the greatest of the greatest had to be taken out. The John Lennons, the Doors, you know, all the greats of the greats. They had to be silenced because they had the ability to move people on the emotional level and on the spiritual level and on the psychic level, on the etheric level. They're able to penetrate beyond the surface and get the melanin spinning and start truly creating a new reality through the use of words and sound. This is the reality we exist in. You know what I mean? The younger he was only 20 years old. But the mind of an ancient, he had the mind of an ancient, only 20 years old. But his mind and his spirit was more advanced. The same thing with Pac. Pac was only 25, but had the spirit of an elder, of an ancient-minded person. That's why his thoughts were so incomprehensible to those who didn't understand his plight. That's why we must embrace hip-hop. You know, so many people don't want to embrace hip-hop, so you know, it's mumble rap. The youth is fucking shit up. You know what I mean? You just gotta choose who you like to listen to and get in tune with the frequency. You know what I mean? We can't just throw away, as they say, throw away the baby with the bathwater. I understand there's a lot of bullshit and fuckery in this music industry, in this corporate America. But we must understand that hip-hop exists outside of music. Hip-hop is not just a music genre. Hip-hop is a culture. Hip-hop is a lifestyle. Hip-hop goes beyond the music. The music is the last manifestation of it. But what happens before the music? What is the process? Hip-hop existed before they were recording music. For those who may not have known that. Of course you had to know that. Were they not hip-hop before they were recording records, before people were becoming millionaires and making all types of money and doing all types of corporate deals? Of course. Hip-hop exists beyond the music, but we have to stay in tune. Let me see. What's up? What's up? Let me see. I don't know what you mean by that. Ice, wallow, come? I don't know what that is, man. The chosen one is always a target. It's going to always be that way. It's going to always be that way. That's why the only thing that's going to protect you out here is your spirituality. And I'm telling y'all that right now. The only thing that's protecting me is my spirituality. It ain't because I'm just super smart. It ain't because that I just know a bunch of information. It's because my spirituality is the only thing that keeps me here at this point. Because if I wasn't spiritually in tune, I would be lost. And I see that every day. Because I see people who are not spiritually in tune, and I see how lost they are. So the only thing that's keeping me grounded is my connection to spirit. And the only thing that's keeping you here is your connection to spirit. You know what I mean? Don't believe otherwise. That's the only thing that's keeping us grounded, because we are in times of complete chaos, complete discordia. You know, you already know. Yeah, you see, you watch an interview. See, a lot of people didn't even know, you know, how talented he was, including myself. You know what I mean? I wasn't the biggest fan of him either. But once I saw the impact, and once he died and how people was reacting, I'm like, dang, that's something that I wasn't in tune with until now. But now he's immortal. And that's what matters. Now he's immortal, just like Pac is immortal, just like everybody else I mentioned. So you can say they become deities in and of themselves. So you can say he is now on a deified level. So you can tune into his energy, for those who may want to do that. For those who may want to tune into anybody's energy that I name. These people have been deified. You know what I mean? You have pictures of Pac all over the place. He is a deity at this point. These people have become deities because they were so influential. It ain't about to worship them. It's about to realize that we all have this potential, and that they all exist within us. They are a reflection of our universal intelligence. Our universal intelligence produces people like Triple X, people like Tupac, you know, people like, and again, all these people that I mentioned and all the people that I didn't mention. This comes from a spirit or an infinite or a universal intelligence that we all are connected with, but we have to claim it. You know what I mean? This is, again, beyond being black or white or whatever color or whatever title you call yourself. This is going beyond just basic definitions from somebody else's mind who can never understand hip-hop, who can never understand spirituality, who can never understand the occult, who can never understand looking beyond the symbolisms of today's times. We definitely have to have that magic eye. That's why the book is going to be called Seership. Having a magic eye to see beyond the illusion, so that you can properly position yourself to thrive out here in chaotic times. You know what I mean? And that's the whole point. That's the whole point. You have to have the magic eyes to see beyond these illusions, because these illusions will have you walking in circles. These illusions will have you lost. These illusions, again, you can look at any city. This is what illusions produce. Zombies walking around here with no sense of self. Too caught up in the illusion. Too caught up in these worldly things. And have no idea how to tap into spirit. And even if you said it to their face, they still wouldn't get it. You know? But when you take that leap of faith, the spirit also uses these same people to speak messages to you. So you may have somebody who you may think is lost, but they come up to you speaking wisdom. Wisdom that is beyond their own knowing, because they can be used as vessel for the spirit to speak through you. But you see a lot of that, you know, when you out here in the streets, when you out and about, you know what I mean? When you place yourself in a position to receive, you will receive. You know what I mean? Allow the spirit to manifest itself in your life. Because again, I'm pretty sure, again, somebody who don't know nothing but said the exact thing that you needed to hear at that exact moment to keep you going and to keep you motivated when you was ready to give up. Somebody may came and offered you a blunt. When you ain't had one in a whole week, you about to lose your mind. Somebody just come up, just a person who just so happened to smoke some weed, offered you a blunt. You was losing it, and that blunt helps you to regain your consciousness and to keep pushing. Just simple things like that. It ain't got to be nothing Jesus-like. When you seeing angels coming out the sky, it ain't got to be nothing like that. It can be the most simple, random little events. You know what I mean? That just somebody random just come and they feel your energy and they want to share something with you, whether it's words of wisdom, whether it be something material, whatever it may be. But when you position yourself to receive from the spirit can use anybody as a vessel to convey that message to you, the very thing that you need to hear. But you got to be out here to experience it. You know? Yeah, I have no idea who this is. Sorry about that. I'm going to upload that. What do you mean? What am I going to upload? What upload are you talking about? But yeah, so I'm just letting everybody know. I'm just keeping everybody in tune. Like I said, I'm good. Because when you operate off spirit, you know what I mean? You don't really need too much. You don't really need what the average person needs. You know what I mean? The average person may need 3 meals a day. The average person may need somebody else to lean on. The average person may need, you know what I mean, to do all type of things that we really don't need to do. You know what I mean? That's why it's always good, as I always speak about, to fast. To take yourself out of this world and to get into a meditative state. I have no idea. Hold on. Let me silence these notifications. I have no idea what this is. Hold on. Alright, so y'all not gonna hear that no more. I have no idea what this is. What's up? What's up, Candace? What's up? Tangela, I see everybody. You know what I mean? What's up, 313? I see you, Rob. Shout out to the 313. Y'all already know. So again, I'm just letting y'all know what's going on. Everything is good over here. You know what I mean? We just in these streets. We just gaining information. We just being self-taught. This is what you got to go through when you want to educate yourself. You know what I mean? I'm not going to allow the system to educate me. I will educate myself. Allow the spirit within to manifest itself. You know what I mean? Like for just last night I was just on the strip. And you know what I mean? I'm just reading I'm just reading through books, just doing what I normally do. You know what I mean? Somebody came up to me and just, blessed me with some game. And they were basically telling me like, yo, I work 3 jobs. You know what I mean? I got a daughter, I got a wife, you know what I mean? I got a house, I got a car, you know what I mean? The things that most people would love to have, right? Living well, and I'm not just on some living check to check. So I asked them, I'm like, yo, like, how do you sleep? Like, how much sleep you get a day or a night? And the answer was, you like, yo, I probably get like 3 or 4 hours of sleep a week. He said he get 3 to 4 hours of sleep a week. 3 jobs. And I'm looking like, for a long time, and I'll tell you this, for a long time, I always wondered, because you hear a lot of this in hip-hop, right? You hear a lot of people saying, no sleep, no sleep. You heard Tupac talking about it, don't sleep, don't sleep. You know what I mean? I've heard this for so long. I didn't know if it was real. I didn't know if it was a metaphor, like, yeah, don't sleep, in terms of don't be lacking out here. You know what I mean? Always be on guard, always be on point. You know what I mean? Now, so I wasn't sure if people were literally saying like, yo, I literally don't get no sleep. But they really are serious out here. Motherfuckers are not sleeping at all. So I'm like, that's why you do drugs. We just gonna keep it real right now. That's why you do drugs. That's why you hit the blunt. That's why you pop the pills. To keep yourself up. You may be tired, you may have to pop a pill just to keep going, because you got another 7-hour shift, you got another 8-hour shift, or whatever the case, or you just don't want to sleep out here on the pavement like you see everybody else. You're like, yo, I'm not about to sleep on the pavement and wake up and somebody then took my stuff, or you getting woken up by the police or whatever. You don't want to go through all that. So it's a lot of people who choose to live out on the streets, and they just got to stay up. They don't sleep. Motherfuckers is strictly on some vampire shit in real life. And again, for a long time, I wasn't sure if it was a metaphor or people like literally out here not sleeping at all. And it got proved to me last night. Like I'm like, yo, I just asked him to his face, like, how much sleep you get? He like, yo, 3-4 hours a week. Which seems crazy to somebody who sleeps 8 hours a day. It don't even seem like that's possible. Like, yo, how are you operating? And this person is fully functional. This is not a drug addict. Again, this is somebody who has a wife, somebody has a kid, somebody who has bills, who's maintaining the home, who's maintaining the car, who's, offering me, hey, you want to smoke? I'm about to smoke anyway, you want to, because I noticed a lot of, because a lot of people ask me for a light, a lighter, like I always say with a lighter on me, because, lighters run out, so it'd be a lot of people who just constantly ask me, yo, You got a light, you got a light. You know, I guess I look like I smoke weed. You know what I mean? I guess they see these black ass lips. You know what I mean? They just made like, yo, you look like you smoke here. You know what I mean? They just share it. It is what it is. But again, you know, we ain't got to get too deep into that. So I encourage everybody, like, yo, there's a whole different alternative lifestyle out here that the average person is not aware of because they can't tap into the frequency. Again, there's people out here that's just not going to sleep. But even I know, like, even the times where, you know, I had to be up like over 24 hours, it's like those are very, very magical moments. It's like when you are sleep deprived, it puts you in a certain state of mind where you have less resistance from your conscious mind and more magic can manifest. Hopefully y'all following what I'm saying. You have less, because you can say your conscious mind is trying to fall asleep. Your conscious mind is sleepy, so you don't have this resistance. You know what I mean? I always talk about the resistance, right? You don't have sleep, like the resistance is like trying to go to sleep. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, I can't take this shit, right? So you don't have this player hater in your mind or your ego tripping. So you're able, it's like your thoughts are able to manifest a lot more swiftly and a lot more magically. Because the player hater or the ego is trying to go to sleep. You know what I mean? Like, this motherfucker just want to eat and sleep and fuck, right? That's what the ego is all about, survival. So the ego just want to eat, sleep, fuck. You know what I mean? Just do basic human shit. So when the ego is ready to go to sleep and you forcing yourself to stay up, it's like the ego is like, all right, fuck it. You know what I mean? I'm going to sleep. So you can enter into your subconscious a lot more easier. And so again, I noticed, you know, like the most spiritual moments that I've had, you know what I mean? Again, I've been out in the streets many times. And again, I documented a couple of them times on YouTube. So y'all see me again, like I said, whether I was doing a homeless challenge in LA or I was doing a homeless challenge in New York, y'all didn't seen it. And the most magical moments I didn't have was when I had pushed myself beyond, you know, just going to sleep. I feel like I got to sleep for 8 hours a day. Like, yo, you in the streets, you ain't got time to sleep. And again, to further the conversation I had last night, cause they were just telling me, like, you can choose between two roads. You can either be the person out here that's living from check to check, who wants to be lazy, or you can be the person that worked their ass off, who basically sacrifices sleep so that you can live decent. See, even though we may be in Vegas, or I may be in Vegas, you may be in Vegas, and the cost of living is dramatically different than, you know, you being in California or you being in New York. You know, you can, for $1,200 in New York, Los Angeles, you get a one-bedroom apartment. For $1,200, one-bedroom apartment. Here in Vegas, you can live in a house for $1,200 a month. You can have a full house, 3 bedrooms. And as you can see, people in Vegas like making a lot of fucking noise. As you can clearly see, these motherfuckers who just literally like making a lot of noise with their cars. You know, because Vegas resonates on the solar plexus chakra, for those who may not know. Just giving y'all insight so y'all can study your own city, so y'all can discover the secrets within your own city. So Vegas operates on this warrior. You know, the solar plexus is like the warrior energy. So Vegas operates on this warrior energy. So, you know, a lot of people like to be very aggressive, you know what I mean, towards each other. You know what I mean? You can clearly see it in the traffic. You can clearly see it within the people. But, you know, when you are real hip-hop, then you are respected wherever you go. You are respected. When you are true to yourself, you are respected, so you don't have to worry about that. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't literally, you know, I didn't been places where you probably shouldn't be, where you felt like it was probably very dangerous here. And I've been embraced in very dangerous places because you real hip-hop. When you're real hip-hop, you don't have problems because people don't feel that energy towards you. People don't feel like, oh, this person is trying to take something from me, or this person is trying to fuck my girl. You know what I mean? radiate that frequency. So they kind of surprised, like, yo, he ain't really vibing like that, which is kind of different. They're not really used to feeling that. Somebody who is just pure in spirit, who's not trying to take nothing from them, who's not trying to rob them, who actually want to see them do well. I may not know you, but I don't want to see you suffering, especially if you embrace me. You know what I mean? We can have a conversation, and if I can help you, if anything I have, I can help you, then I'll help you. Because I know how hard it is in the streets. You know what I mean? So we all have to be here for each other. So going forward. So again, we just out here, we just embracing life. You know what I mean? Hold on, let me make sure I'm not missing any comments here. Okay. So like I said, y'all have any questions, y'all let me know. Yeah. Okay, we at 86%. We at 41 minutes. So yeah, we can go an hour. You know what I mean? We can go an hour before we get up out of here. You know, because I don't really like walking in the sun anyway. So you see, pretty much the sun is down now. It's pretty much after sunset, so we can get it in. So y'all let me know. You so hyped for the book, I appreciate it. You know what I mean? A lot of people been asking me to write a book for years, and I just felt like I'm too young. I'm like, man, I'm still in my 20s. What the fuck can I say, right? But you know, it's still being asked. So I just gotta get the people what they want. I just gotta get the people what they want. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna definitely share a lot of my spiritual experiences. You know what I mean? And yeah, and I understand it's not about age. It's about experience. It's not about age, it's about experience. So people that find value in my experience, you know, I don't mind sharing it. Definitely, I don't mind giving you the exchange. You know? So, you know, that's the message of the day. You know, just be yourself. We are ancient-minded people existing in modern times, so we must be self-defined. We must define ourselves. We must create our own culture. We must create our own rules and regulations to which we live by. And that's when reality changes, because you now exist outside of that box. There's a reason why they want you to call yourself black or white or Latino or Hispanic or Asian or Oriental. You know what I mean? So on and so forth. Native American, Indian. You know what I mean? They don't want to call you Aboriginal. They don't want to call you original. They don't want to call you the first. They want to call you everything but what you are, right? Because that places you in a box. And now you are subjected to everybody else who identifies with that. You are subjected to their hardships. So when we see people out here getting tortured by the cops, and the cops is on their ass, and they just have all this bad luck, it's because of how they define themselves. When you are defining yourself from a paradigm that is not your own, somebody else gave you a paradigm, and you identify with this paradigm that somebody else gave you. So now you are subjected to their rules and regulations, and they can treat you how they want to treat you, and they can take your life, and they can do whatever they want with you without consequence. You know what I mean? You just asked out because you are identifying yourself, and that's not who you are. You are much greater than what anybody else can call you, right? Just as the Honorable Elijah Muhammad says, be yourself and accept your own. Be yourself and accept your own. Can you create fire with your mind? Well, everything is mental, so yes. You know, just the quick answer. Everything is mental. You are creating everything with your mind. Right? There's nothing not created by the mind, right? So yes, everything is created by the mind. There's nothing not created by the mind. Sometimes you feel old programming, sorry. How do you get out of that? Well, that's what we've been talking about. You get out of old programming by reprogramming yourself with a new paradigm, with a new reality. You know, that's how it's like you can't just say, for example, let's just say you used to be Christian and you no longer believe in the teachings of Christianity or modern day Christianity. So you're like, all right, I'm no longer a Christian. It's not enough to say that. It's not enough to say I'm no longer a Christian. The next question that comes up is, well, what am I? And based on the answer to that question will determine your reality. So it's not enough to put down something that you outgrew. You must replace it with something that is able to mature with you. So again, some people consider that hip-hop, because as I said earlier, hip-hop goes beyond the music that we listen to. Hip-hop is a lifestyle. Hip-hop existed before people were recording records, right? Just go back, if you truly want to know what hip-hop is, go back to the 70s and study. Study what they were doing in the 70s before they were recording hip-hop. Study the 70s, the early 70s and the mid 70s of what was going on in the streets, to give you some true insights of what spirituality really is. Where everybody was on that Bruce Lee tip. Everybody was on their martial arts, right? Everybody was into their psychedelics, right? Everybody was into political awareness, self-awareness, alternative healing, alternative lifestyles, alternative thought, laws of attraction, all that stuff, you know what I mean? Voodoo, spirituality, like all that was prominent. That's why all that is spoken within hip-hop. You know what I mean? Listen to the Wu-Tang. Listen to NWA. Listen to the Tribe Called Quest. You know, listen to all the early works and all the current works so that you can understand what hip-hop truly is beyond the music and beyond the visuals. You know, back when gang banging didn't have nothing to do with selling drugs. You know what I mean? When it was just about protecting your community. You know what I mean? But that's neither here nor there. Just giving y'all some clues to where to start for those who may not know the answer to these questions. Let me see. Why do you think everybody's picking up on the Islam religion? Because it's like, let me just be honest. You know what I mean? I'm trying to think about I'm trying to be politically correct and all that. From my perspective, as somebody who has been around Islam their whole life, I grew up in Detroit. Islam started in Detroit with the Nation of Islam back in the 30s with Elijah Muhammad, W.D. Farad or Farad Muhammad, you know what I mean? So on and so forth, right? That all started in Detroit. So I have been around Islam since I was born. You know, I had an uncle who was in the Nation of Islam. Then when I became a teenager, I started to follow the Orthodox form of Islam, the Sunni Islam for those who want to be technical, right? So Islam to me has always been, especially when we're talking about versus Christianity or versus other religions, Islam is definitely the truth. Why? Because you have people like Elijah Muhammad, who was the most successful black man in the history of America, right? With the Nation of Islam. You know, it was, I believe the Nation of Islam was worth like $75 million in the 70s, which is probably just crazy money, like Jay-Z money, and now times, right? In modern times. Elijah Muhammad was the most successful black man in America ever. So people want to follow that blueprint, right? So it's really no question of why Islam is so prominent, because the occult Islam, which most people don't subscribe to that now. Most people are in the religion of Islam. But to keep it basic, without going too deep, Islam is mathematics, and mathematics is Islam. right? So if you really want to know what Islam is, Islam in its most basic definition is mathematics. And as we know, mathematics exists in the universe, in every creation. Everything is based on mathematics. When you walk mathematically. You know, if you take a step a little bit too extended, you will fall and trip. Or if you don't take a step extended enough, you're not going to be able to walk. When you are rhyming, you know, for all my rappers out there, you know that it's based in mathematics, right? When you type in text on your phone, it's all based on mathematics. So when you follow Islam, when you practice Islam, when you live out Islam, you are enhancing your mathematical ability, because everything is ruled by mathematics. So Islam teaches you how to be mathematically proficient. And the more mathematically proficient you are, the more you can do. You can literally do anything you want in this world when you are firmly rooted in mathematics. Having a firm foundation in mathematics gives you the ability to do anything, because everything is based in mathematics. All you have to do is learn the mathematics of something and you can master anything, right? Are there any rules to this shit? How about stealing? There's definitely rules, you know what I mean? And the rules are simple. The rules are simple. You know what I mean? Just, we are creators, so you don't have to take from anybody else. Just to make that clear. You don't have to steal. You don't have to kill. You don't have to infringe on nobody else's free will. And you don't have to commit no crimes. You don't have to do none of that. Right? So Islam is, you know, it's not about being a criminal. It's not about hurting nobody. It's not about harming nobody. It's not about breaking the law. It's about being an upright citizen. That's what it's all about. What's up, Mercedes? You know what I mean? All my Muslims out there, you know, it's a couple Muslims. I know it's kind of spread out, but I know I do have a couple Muslims. You know what I mean? Y'all already know the deal. Y'all already know. We gonna always speak about Islam. A lot of people been asking me, yo, speak about Islam, speak about Islam, speak about Islam. Well, I'm gonna speak about fucking Islam. You know what I mean? Because I feel like I've spoken enough about other things, right? Y'all can barely see me now. Hold on, let me see. But we ain't worried about it. I'll be on here about 5 more minutes. But I'm just giving y'all little bits and pieces, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna give y'all the whole game in just one video. I'm just giving y'all an introduction so y'all can start to study yourselves. So let me answer these last few questions before we get up out of here. You know what I mean? Let me see. Asha, any insight on 1111 phenomenon? Been seeing this number about 5 times a week. Yeah, definitely. I really got the drop on 1111. 1111 is. Watch my video. Watch my video. Watch my video, The 9 Elements of Black Magic. I broke down the whole 1111 phenomenon. You know what I mean? But to just speak briefly about. Okay, we could walk over here a little bit. Let me finish it up. I'm gonna finish it up. Don't worry about it. Let me finish it up. But I'm gonna go over here. Give me 1 second. Yeah, let me go over here. We're gonna finish this up. Make sure we're good. Yeah. Alright. Give me 1 second, y'all. Give me 1 second. We just walk across the street, get to a better location. We're gonna finish this up. We're gonna finish it up. All right. We're gonna post it up right here. We're gonna post it right here. Don't worry about the visuals. I know it's night, so y'all probably, you know what I mean, just look like a black face in a white hoodie. It's all good. Again, we're gonna finish up these questions before we get up out of here. Drink some water real fast. Give me 1 second. We're gonna finish it up though. We're gonna finish. All right. So for all my people who may not be mathematically inclined, again, you may not be the best person in algebra, geometry, calculus, you know, all these forms of mathematics. I suggest you start learning the esoteric version of mathematics. That's why I talk about supreme mathematics so much, right? Learn supreme mathematics. Learn numerology. Learn astrology. Because once you learn the esoteric version of these numbers, it's going to be so much easier for you to comprehend all those different forms of mathematics that just seem so incomprehensible before. Once you get a thorough understanding of numbers from an esoteric view, it's going to make it so much easier to understand mathematics, you know, from a traditional sense. So you definitely gotta tap into the esoteric version of mathematics, and then to make it a lot more easier to comprehend. All right. What about graffiti? That's a crime, but it's so great. It all depends, man. Because you can say graffiti is a crime. You know, they can call it vandalism. You know what I mean? Let me take this off. You know, graffiti can technically be called vandalism. But it's all about where you do it at. You know what I mean? Like, you shouldn't be spray painting in anybody's home. And you really shouldn't be spray painting, you know, any place of business, because they're just going to cover it up with the paint. So you just have to choose your locations wisely when it comes to graffiti, because you definitely want to do graffiti pieces that stay up. You don't want to do a graffiti piece that night, then that morning it's gone, because you didn't pretty much wasted your time. But if you do it on a building that's not owned by a particular business, that's just the property of the public, then you can go in. You know what I mean? That's why the underground graffiti has always been more important than the above ground graffiti, if we can just call it that. So focus your graffiti more underground. You know what I mean? Go in the tunnels. You know, go in the tunnels. Go to places that people don't really frequent as often and do your graffiti there, so that it can stay up a lot longer and people can have a deeper appreciation for it. Those who are even fearless enough to go into deep, dark places where the graffiti just stays up. You got 10-year, 20-year graffiti, sometimes 30-year graffiti in certain places, you know, that people don't frequent. You know what I mean? So you got to be strategic about where you place your graffiti. You know what I mean? So let me see. How do you manifest success in music? Any techniques? Mathematics, bro. Angry Boy Productions. How do you manifest success in music? Mathematics. You have to be mathematically proficient. Whether it's you rhyming, whether it's you making the beats, whether it's you creating the visuals or the sound effects, whatever you're doing when it comes to the music, you have to be mathematically proficient. You have to increase your understanding of mathematics. You have to be able to do things mathematically accurate. You have to be able to stay in pocket when you rhyme. You got to be able to do things with the beats that people, you know, didn't even realize they can do. You know what I mean? That's why, like, when the South took over, you know what I mean, it's because their beats were unheard of. You know, we were so used to like the East Coast and the laid back feel, then the West Coast with the G-Funk, then the South had to come with something different. You know what I mean? And when they came with something different that had not been seen before, that's what just took over the game. And it's going to be through mathematics where you're going to be able to push the culture forward. So if you want to be successful in music or any area of life, you have to be able to push the culture forward. Don't just come up in here trying to do what the Migos do, or trying to do what Drake is doing, or trying to do what XXX was doing, right? That's what most people are doing. Most people are trying to take a formula that has already been proven to work and trying to eat off of a formula that has already been laid down. You don't want to do that. What you want to do is you want to be able to push the culture forward. Do things that have not been done before so that people start trying to mimic your blueprint. You must construct a new blueprint. That's true success. True success is not doing what somebody else did already. True success is pushing the culture forward, or being able to solve problems that nobody else can solve if you are in a different type of industry. And all that is possible through mathematical proficiency. Your mind, pushing and preserving the culture, pushing the culture forward and preserving the culture, you will be successful, because now you are doing great things by pushing the culture forward and preserving the culture so that it stays in tune. You need both of those. You need that. You know what I mean? So hopefully that makes sense. You're doing a video about the jinn Mercedes, the Islamic demons. You know, definitely let me know when you do that. You know what I mean? So I look kind of demonic right now. You can see my eyes, and all you see is a black image with these eyes. It's funny. It's funny. Let me see. Was XXX a blood sacrifice? Again, I haven't done enough research into it to accurately answer that. But whether he was I'll say this much. Whether he was a sacrifice or not, it really doesn't matter, because what he stood for will be remembered, and he's an immortal now. He has been deified now, so he's in a position now to where his energy can be channeled through other people. If y'all don't understand what I mean by that, meaning now anybody can tap into his energy. Again, he was the best. He was the chosen one amongst these youth. So it can be people that can tap into his frequency and push the culture forward to do the things that he was trying to do, which is to promote positivity, to end all the beasts. You know what I mean? He wasn't with all the street shit. He wasn't with all the drama. He may have been with that in his early humble beginnings. But as he started to advance in his career, he got tired of all the bullshit. You know what I mean? So it can be people who can further advance that message. And that's what it's all about. Do what he was trying to do. Study his life and pick up the pieces that he was trying to place together. You know what I mean? Let me see. What's up? The Nubian hippie? What's the deal? What's up? What's up? Let me see. Oh, you read The Secrets of the Yogi? Glad you recommended it. I appreciate it. You know what I mean? It's definitely work. You know what I mean? It's definitely got that heat in there. You know what I mean? The secrets are definitely preserved in the books if you put them to action. You know what I mean? It's all about putting it into action. So you can read a million books. You can read a million books, but if you don't put it into action, it's like you read 0 books. Or you can be a person that only read 10 books, but you put those 10 books into action, then you're going to get results. So constantly and forever implement what you read. for those readers out there, for those of you who are readers, don't just go from book to book to book to book to book. Take time and to really, really study books, and you take time to read. You may want to only read one chapter a day. You probably could go through the whole book in one day, but you only want to read one chapter a day because you want to truly digest the information. And when you truly digest the information, you can implement it into your own life and get results. As opposed to if you're just trying to read just for the sake of reading, you know? That's why you got fiction and you got nonfiction. You take your time reading the nonfiction and you can just stroll through the fiction if you're just a reader. That's why you got fiction. Read all the fiction you want to, but when it comes to the nonfiction, slow down and take your time with it. So then what's the difference between any other religion to the Egyptian religion? Every religion has its own thought process behind it. And that's just based on where in the world it was created. For example, if you are below the equator, the energy is different because you can say the atmosphere is a lot more hotter. As opposed to if you are above the equator, then the energy is a lot more cool. So certain things that grow north to the equator is going to be different south of the equator, right? That's going to affect the type of clothes people wear. That's going to affect the type of music that's going to be produced. That's going to affect the type of gods that are worshipped because the atmosphere is different. The trees are different. The plants is different. The food is different. So depending on where you are in the world, it has an effect on the atmosphere, and the atmosphere will have an effect on everything that is being produced from that particular land mass or wherever you are on the planet. So that's really the only difference. Is it just they are in different parts of the world, so it's different things available to them. Like if you are in a desert, you're going to have a different experience versus somebody who's in a forest, and they're going to have a different experience from somebody who's in the city, and they're going to have a different experience than somebody who lives near a body of water, you know, so on and so forth. So it all depends on where you are on the planet, and that's going to determine, you know, the culture. Your way of life will be determined on those attributes, you know. So that's the difference, you know, just to give you a short answer. What's up, Stony Marie? Alternative breathing, right now. Alternative breathing, I see you. The Nubian hippie, definitely. Did Drake kill Triple X? Triple X warned us that Drake would kill him. Again, I don't know, and I don't want to even put that energy out there because it may not be true. Do I feel like Drake is capable of doing something like that? I don't think it was that serious for Drake to allow me. I don't think the beef was that serious to the point where you wanna end somebody's life. Now, especially when you got Drake beefing with Pusha T and they just going back and forth on wax. They just exchanging records. So why would Drake want to end his life, but he just playing around with Pusha T, or you know, however people want to put it, whether he won or Pusha T won. Again, it all depends on how people perceive it. So it just don't make sense to me why that would happen. But again, who knows? Like I said, I wasn't there. I'm not connected with none of these people, so I have no idea what actually happened. I don't know what the motivation is. I don't know if it's a conspiracy theory. I don't know if it was just it was just his time to get up out of here. But nonetheless, you know what I mean? May that man rest in peace. And may his message continue to be spread, his music continue to be played, and people take heed to his life and to hopefully go in the direction he was trying to go in before his untimely demise. Let me see. Is it better to be awake and sad or asleep and happy? Ignorance is bliss. What is the aim of the alchemist? So that's actually a pretty good question. That's a pretty good question. Soul Niger, I believe that's your name, Soul Niger. That's a pretty good question. So I'll answer it this way. Is it better to be awake? Because, you know, a lot of people feel that way. You know what I mean? A lot of people feel like, man, since I learned all this information, or since I've popped this red pill, it's like things have kind of been, my life has been, it hasn't been going the way I thought it would go. Because you may not be satisfied with working a 9 to 5 no more. You may not be satisfied with living amongst, you know, people that are not into what you're into. You know what I mean? You just may not be satisfied with just the little crumbs, you know, that the government gives you. Or, you know what I mean? You're just not satisfied with the life that has already been planned for you. In other words, you're ready to create your own reality. So I would say to that, that's why a lot of people choose not to embrace the spiritual lifestyle, because they feel like, damn, like, what, I gotta give up my lifestyle, you know, I gotta be on the streets, you know, I gotta, you know what I mean, I gotta go through all this unnecessary hardship. You know, I'd rather just, you know, make my $15 an hour, $20 an hour, drive my nice car, be in my nice house, take care of my kids, be in a loving relationship, and, you know what I mean, eat good food every night. You know what I mean? What's wrong with that? You know what I mean? Like, why would I potentially want to give up those things and try to aid the world in constructing a new reality? You know, pretty much, why would I want to sacrifice essentially my freedom, not even your freedom, your happiness, in the aim of a greater cause? And that's the whole thing. It's a sacrifice. You in a sense, you're not necessarily sacrificing your happiness, because you can still be happy. You just find happiness in different things. You find happiness in being a part of something greater than yourself. You find happiness embracing your real culture beyond what was given to you by somebody else. You find happiness in being who you are and expressing your own language. So you find happiness in non-materialistic things. So your happiness starts to come from that, as opposed of you're building up a reality based on materialism, when all those things could be taken away and are truly temporary. So you find happiness in the things that don't leave in such a quick rate. You find happiness in things that are greater than yourself. You basically, you know what I mean, you're no longer motivated by your own individual ego, and you're looking at the greater good. And that requires sacrifice at times, you know? That may require you, again, it may require you to go out into the streets and find out who you really are, because you can't find it in a book and nobody can tell you. You may have to go out and figure it out for yourself. Or you may not. And again, you know, that may not be everybody's fate, but that may be somebody's fate, you know? So you just find happiness in being a part of the greater good and pushing the culture forward, whatever culture that you embrace. And everybody who has pushed the culture forward has had to sacrifice a part of themselves to do so. But without that sacrifice, the culture would have never moved forward. That's why, you know, people like Tupac and Triple X had to be sacrifices so that the culture can move forward. Because I guarantee, because of his sacrifice, the culture will move forward. Because now he is a part of every hip-hopper. And his energy will live out through others, and they will be able to manifest the energy in ways that, because I already told you, hip-hop and necromancy, or channeling the dead or connecting with the dead, is not so far-fetched. You can say hip-hop is necromancy, you know? That's why Pac's name is always brought up, and all these dead rappers, they're their energy is always being given more energy and new energy. Everybody want to be the new Pac. Now everybody going to want to be the new X, because that energy, you know, can be embraced now on a grander scale, because they had to make that sacrifice. But again, everybody's not willing to do that. Everybody's not willing to give up their life, and everybody's not willing to give up their comfort. And to each his own. You know what I mean? I'm not mad at nobody who doesn't want to make that sacrifice, because it's not for everybody to make that sacrifice. Some people came into this world to pop the blue pill and to be in ignorance and to be blissful, while others chose to put in work. And to each his own. You know what I mean? I'm not here to judge nobody for whatever decision they may make. To each his own. You know what I mean? Just let everybody live. You know what I mean? We're not here to make enemies. We're not here to disrespect anybody else's way of life or anybody else's religion. You know what I mean? So I don't want to, you know, beat up on nobody who chooses to do anything differently. You know, so to each his own. But whatever decision you make sure it's a decision that you can live with. Let's see. Who or what or who's the 144,000? That's basically, you can say the people that are in tune with the changes of the frequency that we're going through nowadays. Basically, the people, you can say those who are in tune with the changes of the universe, and who, because they are in tune with the changes of the universe, they can put it into their music. They can put it into their fashion. They can put it into however they creatively express themselves. And that's what creates trends. Trends are created by people who are in tune with the changes in the universe, and they are able to creatively express it. They just tap into it faster than everybody else. Then when everybody else sees it, then they're like, yo, that's it. That's how people create hits. They tapped into the energy before anybody else, and everybody else agrees, like, yo, that's the energy or the wave of today. And they get behind that. So that's what it is. So the 144,000 is those who are tapped in and who can creatively express the changes in the universe, and or the trendsetters, you know, because they are tapped in. You got to be tapped in. So out of however many people is on the world, 6 billion people, or however many, 6, 7, 8, 9, however many billions of people we have on this planet, only 144,000 are the trendsetters. You know what I mean? And that's just how it's always been. You can say only 144,000 of those people have taken the red pill. You know what I mean? So that's just the numbers. But it has to be that way. Otherwise, you know, because, you know, people look at, you know, because people like Pac and XXX died, and people, you know, feel a certain type of way about it. But it's still a lot of us out here. That's why even Pac said gangsters don't die, they multiply. So all they truly did was multiply XXX. His energy will forever penetrate this planet. Pac's energy will forever penetrate this planet because the energy multiplies now, because it's not concentrated in a human vessel. Now people can tap into that energy. You know, so I may be speaking, you know, above people's heads, but hopefully that makes sense. Now people are saying Drake sacrificed X. Again, it's just, maybe y'all are more in tune with all this stuff than I am, because to me that just doesn't make any sense. I don't see why Drake would want to take anybody's life. You know what I mean? Especially with somebody who, I don't know if you know, they actually got into a physical altercation. For somebody who never harmed anybody around you or yourself, you know, I don't see that. But then, you know, people say, yo, it's just a blood sacrifice. But I don't see what Drake has to do with it. I think it has something to do with, they said he came out with a song and he made mention of, I guess he made mention of X in a certain way, and it pretty much manifested. But then again, y'all saw XXX. He was on his Instagram live talking about if he died the same day he died. Then you got people who said, oh, he spoke his own death into existence because all he talked about was death. He had a death wish. There's some people who say that, like, yo, he had a death wish. He spoke his own death into existence. We got many people with many different perspectives, you know. And again, I'm not that well researched to accurately say who's right and who's wrong. And I really don't care to say who's right or who's wrong. It just is what it is. So even if he was a sacrifice, he sacrificed himself for the greater good. So people can say, yo, watch Drake blow up and all that. I mean, Drake been blowing up for 10 years. I don't understand that. You know, Drake has been on top for like a decade. So how big can Drake get? He's already been on top of the game. You're like, oh, he saw X as a threat. You know, it just don't make sense. You know what I mean? Drake is not the young dude no more. Drake has been in the game for a while. You know what I mean? And he's still like the most popular rapper even to this day. So I don't see, he had his own lane. You know what I mean? X wasn't gonna stop Drake from getting money, from still selling records. Drake is, whatever album he come out with is gonna go platinum. He's gonna, I don't see what X was gonna do to slow down anything Drake is doing. But that's just my personal opinion, just being uneducated in what's really going on beyond the surface. So again, obviously people just know something that I don't know. But to each his own. Well, so long as I practiced urine therapy, did 3 days and felt pretty good. I would say probably about 2 weeks. You know, cause it's like you be on and off. You know, when it comes to urine therapy, you be on and off. You know, I just depending on how hard you go with it. You know what I mean? It all depends on what your goal is. Cause I remember a time, like after maybe about 3 days of doing urine therapy, I had like one of the most vivid dreams I've ever had in my life. It's like it gives you more lucidity in your dreams. You know, that's from my personal experience. You know, I was able to lucid dream a lot more easier. But at that point, I was drinking more urine than I was actual water. You know, because after you drink enough water, you're going to be, you know, urinating over and over and over again. So if you intaking all that, you're not even going to be drinking water at a certain point, just urine. And then, you know, I had one of the most lucid dreams I've ever had. So, yeah, that was like a couple days in. So after you have experiences like that, you know what I mean? It all depends on what results you are getting when you do it. So as long as you're getting results, then keep going. You know, as long as you're getting results, keep going, man. How do we unblock the base chakra? Well, we know the base chakra is Saturn, the planet Saturn, right? The planet Saturn deals with the energy of Satan, or Baphomet. And the energy of Baphomet deals with what? Mathematics. So once again, we're going right back to mathematics. So your base chakra is all about what? Survival, right? That's why it's called your base. And what is everybody's base? Mathematics. Your mathematical proficiency will determine how you are able to survive in this world. All right? I guess, but most people don't say it like that. You know, most people want to, when they talk about the chakras, they want to be all spooky with it. But I'm giving y'all the real. The base chakra is all about mathematics. So if you want to unblock your base chakra, you must enhance your mathematical ability, which I've been talking about the whole video. Embrace your Satan, because that's really all a Satanist is. It's just a mathematical genius. Become a mathematical genius. That's how you unlock the base chakra. Guaranteed. Get your mathematics on point, and your base chakra will be unlocked. You know what I mean? It's not going to happen overnight. You know what I mean? Give it about 21 days. Give yourself about 21 days and start studying math again. Go all the way to the basics, to add and subtraction, division, multiplication. Start off with the basics, then move on to fractions. You know, then move on to decimals. You know what I mean? Then move on to algebra, geometry, you know, so on and so forth. You know what I mean? Just learn the basics over again from an esoteric view, as well as, you know, how we learn it in school. And give yourself 21 days of just strictly all mathematics. Just have a whole notebook dedicated to math problems, to solving math problems, practicing your problem solving. That's the basic. The number 8, you know what I mean? So that's what it is, man. Let me see. How do we deal with becoming so detached to the material realm to the point where you just have to look for valid reasons to still be here? Great question. Because I know where you're coming from. You know what I mean? Because there's definitely been times in my growth and development where, you know, I felt like, you know, I got into this depressed state, and I felt like, man, it's like this spirituality just, I'm like, I'm ready to get up out of here. You know what I mean? I'm not liking all this hardship. I'm not liking all this madness. You know, so when you start having those sensations, it's time for you to start astral traveling, really. That's really all it is. So, like, the more you detach from this world, which you are supposed to be, you're supposed to have 1 foot in this world and 1 foot out of this world. Or basically, you have to have enough grounding in this world to not lose yourself, but don't be so grounded that you can't astral travel. You know what I mean? You still want to be able to astral travel. So if you got to the point where you kind of like, fuck this life, then it's time for you to astral travel. So read the book Astral Dynamics by Robert Bruce. You can find it on the internet. And start astral traveling. Get your astral travels on point so that you can start doing better and grander things that don't have nothing to do with this physical plane. You can start motivating yourself internally. So your motivation, hold on, let me let this pass. Alright. You see, it would go right by me, right? How many times have we seen that in the video, right? Motherfuckers really be trying to fuck the vibe up, but we 1 foot in, 1 foot out, right? So getting back to what I was saying, read the book Astral Dynamics by Robert Bruce and start the astral travel to the point where nothing in this world motivates you, right? You start to motivate yourself from inside yourself, right? Your motivation comes from within instead of without. So, you know, fuck this world. Actually, you know what I mean? This world ain't nothing to brag about. You know what I mean? Really, this world is not nothing to brag about. The true reality is beyond the astrals. So get your astral dynamics on point so that you can start finding motivation within yourself. So you really don't have to depend on this world other than just to sustain yourself. You know what I mean? So there you go. Let me see. Yeah. A lot of people having conversation amongst themselves. Y'all continue to do so. Y'all still talking about Triple X, you know what I mean? I don't know what else to say. You know what I mean? But I guess, you know what I mean, just being older. I mean, I'm just a little bit older, you know what I mean? So I understand it affects the youngins a lot more than me. Just me being a little bit older, I just look at it from, like, yo, when somebody passes, you know what I mean, to spread the energy spreads instead of being concentrated. So you can catch that vibe, you can catch those waves. You know what I mean? If you truly tuned in, you know. But let me continue. Do I have to go vegan to unlock those skills to astral travel? Not necessarily. It's more about the technique than the lifestyle. To be lighter, so you're not so weighed down by meat. However, what people don't talk about is your diet doesn't do the work for you. So you can have vegans out there, but it's not going to do the work for you. You can have the best diet on the planet, but it's not going to do the work. You still got to do the work. Meaning you still got to read that book, Astral Dynamics, and put those techniques into action. You still, whether you eat meat or not, you still got to put in the work. So that's what determines how far you go, is how much work you put in, more so than what your diet consists of. Yeah, you got meat eaters astral traveling all over this motherfucker. Then you got vegans astral traveling all around this motherfucker. They may have a completely different experience, but to each his own. I'm not saying which experience is better, which is worse, because it's not about that. Because it's me personally, I'm not really about, you know, trying to give people pretty much like you got to do what I do, or you're just not doing it right. We all have free will. However you shape and mold your life is up to you. I'm just here to give you, you know, just give you structure, but you have to fill in the spaces. You know what I mean? So that's why I you know what I mean, I'm not here to say what to eat, what not to eat, where to go, where not to go, who to fuck, who not to fuck, who to be around, who not to be around. That's all on you. But you have to do your own personal self-observations and come to those conclusions about what works for you and what doesn't. So you got people who eat meat, then they're like, man, I'm not able to get out my body. Maybe I need to change my diet. Now, if you are that type of person, then maybe you do need to change your diet. But if you are a type of person where like, the meat ain't stopping me from doing nothing, then to each his own. So it's all about, you have to observe and study your own body and your own reactions. Then make the proper changes to support what your body is telling you. Not what I'm telling you, but what your own body is telling you. So if your body is telling you slow down, then slow down. If your body is telling you like, yo, we just put in that work, then just put in that work. You know what I mean? And fill up the spaces as you see fit. You know what I mean? Again, we not here to promote religion or dogma. You know, we're just here to give overall structure and guidance, and how you fill up those spaces is on you. You know? Let me see. Yeah. I remember you saying you wasn't going to do live streams for a while. Yeah, I wasn't. I didn't plan on doing the live stream today. I was just testing it out to see if it works. And I just so happened to, you know, I'm like, yo, if I'm here, I'm here. I'm not just gonna pop up and not give y'all some game. So I really didn't plan on doing this one, but it works. You know what I mean? So you see, we outside, you know what I mean? We in the field right now. You know what I mean? Once I end this, you know what I mean, we definitely gonna still be in the field. We traveling north to south, east to west, self-educating. You know what I mean? I'm self-educating myself so that I can show y'all more. because it don't end. You know what I mean? I feel like I've shown y'all a lot, you know, through these hundreds of videos I did, but that ain't the end all be all. You know what I mean? I definitely want to continue to show y'all some fly shit, like just fly, whether it be through the clothes, the information, you know what I mean, the atmosphere, you know, possibly bringing more people into the live streams, you know, more people that's on the level. They may not necessarily think the way I think, but just to hear somebody else from a different perspective, I plan on doing a lot. You know what I mean? This is a whole YouTube channel. I'm like, I can do so much more than what I'm doing. You know what I mean? So I'm just pushing myself and challenging myself, you know, to realize my full potential when it comes to this spiritual lifestyle and this hip-hop lifestyle. You know what I mean? I definitely want to show y'all, you know what I mean, because eventually, you know what I mean, I'm going to be doing shows, performing in front of people, you know, doing lectures and all that. You know what I mean? I definitely want to show y'all the full spectrum of what can be done, you know what I mean, to inspire and to motivate those who may not feel it's possible. You know what I mean? Where you never felt like you could be on the stage rocking a mic or be in front of people and giving them game and giving lectures and doing lectures, and people actually want to hear what you got to say. You know what I mean? So I definitely plan on showing the full spectrum of what's possible with this lifestyle, and that requires me to further educate myself, because I'm not gonna act like I know everything. I'm not gonna act like I can't use self-improvement. So I'm just putting in that work so that I can show and improve. You know what I mean? It's all about showing and improving. You know what I mean? I have to be the big homie. I have to be the light. I have to be the shining beacon of light to let people know what the deal is, from somebody who's really living this lifestyle day in and day out, who's not just talking about it, who's really walking the walk. You know what I mean? So that's all it is. That's why I continue to share the game. And I will continue to share the game. I said that's why I'm doing the book. You probably, for those who didn't hear it at the first part of the video, I'm definitely writing a book. The book is going to be called Seership, S-E-E-R-S-H-I-P, An Introduction to the Magical Realities Beyond Sight. That's the working title. I may change up a couple words here and there. You know what I mean? So I definitely want to have that completed by August. You know what I mean? So y'all definitely be able to tap into that frequency. You know what I mean? Before the summer is out, going into the fall. You know what I mean? You know, my season is the fall. I was born in November, so we definitely want to have that out before the fall. So yeah, Astral Dynamics, Astral Dynamics by Robert Bruce. Do I astral travel? Yes, I astral travel. Do I use a pendulum? I have used pendulums in the past. I don't have a pendulum currently. You know how, I guess, you know, some people do. I'll be losing all type of stuff. My spiritual tools, I'll be losing. You know what I mean? One day I know where it's at. You know what I mean? Next day I can't find it. You know, they have a life of their own. So I've had many pendulums, and I've used them. So I've worked with pendulums before. I have a book on pendulum magic and all that. So I'm definitely familiar with the pendulums. Do I have a certain skin routine? Well, mostly it just depends on, I guess it don't depend on nothing. No, let me, I'm not even going to be technical with it. I just use basic stuff, you know what I mean? I don't really like to use products that are not natural, honestly, you know what I mean? So I may use coconut oil, you know what I mean, on my skin. If I want my skin all shining, I may use the coconut oil. Or if I want to use like a certain type of lotion, if I don't want to use oil, I want to use something that's more water based. If I'm working with something that's more water based, then, you know, I'll use something like, I'm trying to think of what these things are called. Cause yeah, I use coconut oil, what is it? Shea butter. Shea butter is good. I don't know. Again, it's like I really don't use too many products. You know what I mean? I just make sure everything is clean. You know what I mean? I try to make sure that I don't put nothing in my body that would make me break out in the first place. Because I realize with me, like most of the time when I do break out, you know what I mean? Of course, you know, every now and then you're going to get a couple bumps here and there. You know what I mean? But I realize a lot of times when I do have bumps and stuff, it's mainly due to, you know what I mean? I'll be eating a lot. I'll be eating kind of reckless. So I have to, you know, I have to correct my diet. But everybody, you know what I mean? Everybody is different. So I may not be able to eat certain things, but you're able to eat it, and it has no effect on you. You know what I mean? So that's why we have to know our body. So if I start eating too reckless, I may break. I'm trying to think of what the products are, because it's not too many. I'm trying to think of the titles. So give me 1 second. What is the name of that thing? What was I using before? Coconut oil. I'll let you know if it comes to me. I can't even think of it right now. Cause you know, no, I'll be making stuff myself. I may use an avocado and just put it on my face. You know what I mean? Just go to the market, get an avocado, put the avocado on my face. You know what I mean? So this is basic stuff. You know what I mean? I don't like to use, or again, I may use my own urine. You know, urine therapy. I may use my own urine to clean my face. You know what I mean? It's just basic. You know what I mean? I don't really like buying all these fancy products and all that. Like, yo, just give me an avocado, give me some coconut oil, give me some shea butter. You know what I mean? Sometimes I use my own urine. Boom. You know what I mean? Clear that shit up. You know what I mean? Nothing too serious. You taught me to embrace myself, and that was the best thing that changed my life. Because it's real shit, man. We have to define ourselves. When you define yourself, your life changes. Your life will change. Again, I apologize for, you know what I mean, the low light. Again, I didn't. This live stream definitely was not planned. You know, I just felt inspired to do it. You know what I mean? I was just reading some material. I was inspired to do it. I mean, I didn't plan on doing this because y'all know I usually, you know, have a better climate going on, better atmosphere. You know, I could, you know, go down here, go down there, but it's people down here. You know, I don't know what's going on, so I'm just over here so y'all can hear what I'm saying. And that, because y'all see when I was across the street, you know, the internet kept going in and out, so I'm like, oh, this is not a good area, so I just came over here so y'all can. Is to stop doing that. You know what I mean? So again, I apologize ahead of time. But you know, you can just close your eyes and get the game. You know what I mean? Just close your eyes and listen up. I said I only plan on being on here for an hour, end up being on here 2 hours. So we'll make this a flat 2 hours before we get up out of here. You eat healthy as well as bullshit, to be honest. And your visualizations are potent. To each his own, you know what I mean? That's what I mean. You can cheat a little bit, you know what I mean? You may want to eat your little oatmeal cookies. You may want to have some Starburst or some Reese cups. You know what I mean? So again, don't place yourself in a box to where you feel like you can't eat nothing. You know what I mean? Like I say, you know, just everything in moderation. That's all it is. Just everything in moderation. And if you see that it's having a negative effect on you, then don't do it. But if you see that you can do it and you good, then you good. You know what I mean? Just everything in moderation. Give me 1 second. Let me drink some water. All right. What else y'all got for me? The mind is greater than the physical shit? Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, that's why you have to judge for yourself. You have to judge for yourself. But for those who are into health, I encourage y'all to read How to Eat to Live, book 1 and 2 by Elijah Muhammad, for those who are interested in a healthy lifestyle and who want to eat the most healthiest things, if that is important to you. So I gave y'all a resource for those who do take that seriously. You can read that resource, and that's pretty much, you know, in the gist of it. It's pretty much no meat, no starch, no dairy, You know what I mean? So you just it's pretty much like a raw vegan lifestyle for the most part. Well, you know, but you got a whole book to look through, and you know you can find recipes and all that. So to each his own, but that's a resource for those who do take that lifestyle seriously. I'm not gonna leave y'all out. There you go. New Noise said you met up with Afro Pick. I guess y'all both are on the West Coast. I believe it may be y'all may be in LA. But salute. That's what it's all about. You know what I mean? I definitely encourage everybody. If you are in the same city or town as somebody who may listen to the live streams, definitely connect. That's what it's all about. Connect with people who's on the same wave so that y'all can help each other build and grow. That's what it's all about. So I salute New Noise and Afro Pick. You know what I mean? Y'all met up and it was peace, no bullshit, no drama. You know what I mean? It's much love for that. You know what I mean? Continue to build and motivate and inspire each other. Oh yeah, aloe vera, you know what I mean? Definitely aloe vera is good, you know, for those who are, you know, who want to get their skin on point to aloe vera. Good to see you, Islam, you know what I mean? I see you. What was it, Cuba Rael? I see you. Do I constantly add to my astral temple? Absolutely. You gotta constantly be adding to the astral temple because every day we change. You know what I mean? Every day we may have a new perspective. You know what I mean? You may have thought you seen the most beautiful woman in the world. Then the next day you see something that sparks your interest in a whole different way. So you may have to make some modifications. So always be modifying, always be upgrading, always stay current, you know what I mean? Even if it's every day, even if it's once a week, but definitely constantly add to the astral temple, you know what I mean? Because that's your place of peace, you know what I mean? That's your place where you go, you know, when you want to disconnect from the world and when you want to, you know, go into a deep meditative state and you want to observe yourself from the inside out, you know what I mean? So you definitely want to surround yourself by the things that bring light to you and that bring you a sense of peace. Again, you know, for some people it may be women, other people it may be food, other people it may be luxury, you know, whatever it is that flow is. And for other people it may not even be nothing material. They may want to surround themselves by certain energies, by certain Christ figures or yogis or, you know, Sufis. You know what I mean? To each his own. Some people just want to be, especially for the people who have read Think and Grow Rich, which is pretty much everybody, right? Y'all, if y'all ain't read nothing else, you probably read Think and Grow Rich, where Napoleon Hill, his astral temple was a table full of masterminds. You know, he would always, you know, he would go to a table, he would just create a table of masterminds, and he would animate the characters, and eventually they all took a life of their own. He gave them life and they all took a life of their own. So it all depends on how you want to play it. A few of the books can be found on sacredtext.com. Yeah, definitely check out sacredtext.com, you know, for all the people who are into more older information, you know, information that you can't really find nowadays. You know what I mean? That has been mixed, diluted, and tempered with. You know what I mean? You can't really find certain information like that. A lot of information that's coming out nowadays is just regurgitated, watered down information. I'm not going to say all of it is like that, but a lot of it is like that. So for those who want to be more connected with the source, definitely check out sacredtext.com. You can definitely find some good reading material for all my readers out there. Let me see. Were you ever working a 9-to-5 job? And if so, what was your experience that caused you to become self-sufficient? Yeah, I've had a couple jobs in my lifetime. You know, I had a couple jobs. But it was, you know, I just realized over time that I don't have a problem with jobs or people that work jobs or 9 to 5s. You know what I mean? I don't feel like, yeah, everybody should be entrepreneurs and all that. You know what I mean? I'm not on that wave. I just knew for me personally that nobody was going to teach me what I needed to know to be successful. Like, if I'm going to be successful in this world, I have to educate myself. So it was hard to do that, having to get up every day and work this job and come home exhausted. You know what I mean? So I just took it upon myself. I'm like, yo, let me be a full-time entrepreneur. And let me, you know, be a full-time, dedicate myself to self-study. You know, so I can really find out how life works. And I know for myself. So that's what I was just super serious about finding out how life really works, and can I survive out here, and can I make it out here without support from the government? You know what I mean? And so far, you know what I mean, that's what's been it. You know, that's what I've been doing. Now, of course, you know what I mean, I may not have the most comfortable life, may not be living in luxury just yet. But I know that it's a lot that I have to learn. You know what I mean? School didn't teach me anything, you know what I mean? Just the basics. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of things that I'm behind on because I didn't learn in school. And again, I didn't have the opportunity to go to college either. I tried, but it just you know, the cards didn't fall in that direction, so I just went straight to working the job. So I'm like, instead of me using that as an excuse, I'm going to educate myself so that I can be as wise and smart as somebody who has a 4-year degree or an 8-year degree. You know? So that's just what I'm about. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck they're doing, but you know, I definitely don't want to use no excuses to why I can't be successful in life. Because like, I don't have a degree, or I don't have this, or I don't have this experience. So that's what I'm out here doing. I'm out here gaining first-hand experience as to how to be successful in an alternative way of life. You know what I mean? And there's not a lot of people that's willing to make this sacrifice, but that's why I'm making the sacrifice. And that's why I choose to share it with y'all. Not to necessarily show y'all the process, but to show you that it's possible. Do I expect everybody to get out here and live in the streets and learn from the ground up or raise up from nothing? I don't expect everybody to take that leap of faith. And it's not about you having to even go through anything like that. Because to each his own. You know what I mean? This is just what I chose to do for myself, because that's just what I wanted to do. I feel like I can handle the weight. I can handle the pressure. But I don't look at nobody else different if you didn't have to go through such hardships. Because again, it ain't about who had the roughest life. It's just all about who has put themselves in position to be successful. So if you were fortunate enough to go to a good school, and you was fortunate enough to get a college education, and you're fortunate enough to be in a position in life to where you don't have any need, you don't have any wants, then I salute you. You know what I mean? I'm not a hater by any means. And again, you know what I mean? Because I'm pretty sure a lot of people that watch the information, you know what I mean, have 9 to 5s. And again, it's just, I'm like, yo, I'm not gonna knock anybody who lives a different life than me, because I didn't have an opportunity to do it. Because everybody has to play the cards that they're dealt. And that's all I encourage everybody to do. Play the cards that you was dealt. So if you was fortunate enough to be dealt a certain type of hand, then utilize it to the best of your ability. If you was a person who had to work from the ground up with nothing, then play that hand to the best of your ability. You know what I mean? Stay out of jail. You know, stay out of, you know, being surrounded by people who don't want to see you succeed. You know what I mean? If you got to travel out in these streets alone, then be alone. But you will find your way. As they say, where there's a will, there's a way. If your willpower is strong enough, you will find a way. And you don't got nothing to worry about. Just have faith in self. and you will succeed. You know, so that's my take on that. Let's see. So we at the 2-hour mark. So let me make sure I answered everything. What's up, Mary? You just signed in? Yeah, we about to get up out of here. But I see you said that 10 minutes ago. What do I think about using melatonin? Again, I can't really speak for nobody else. I encourage you to use it, and you see if it helps you. I believe melatonin is supposed to help enhance your dream state. I believe that's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to help the secretion of melanin, or not melanin, melatonin, so that it can enhance your dream state. So if it does what it's supposed to do, you know what I mean, then salute. But if you try it and it don't do it, then you know what I mean, you just got to put in the work yourself. You got to find a different way to do it. So I try it out, see if it works for you. If it works for you, good. If it doesn't, then try a different route. You know what I mean? There's other ways to do it. You know, to each his own though. Somebody said Astral Temple with a question mark. For those who may not know what an Astral Temple is, because everybody probably haven't been following me for a long time, so you probably don't know what an Astral Temple is. So for those who don't know what an Astral Temple is, it's pretty much a space you create in the astrals to reflect your version of heaven. So whatever heaven is like, whatever you picture heaven to be, you create this image in your mind, and you project yourself into that image when you go to sleep at night. Basically, when you astral travel. So you create in your mind a sacred space. And before you go to sleep at night, you concentrate on this sacred space so that when you lose consciousness, you direct your consciousness, or you magnetize your consciousness into this space that you have created in your mind, which is called your astral temple. And from that astral temple, you do your spiritual work. So you got the spiritual work that you do on the physical plane, then you got the spiritual work that you do on the astral plane. And you do your spiritual work on the astral plane from your astral temple. So that's just a basic, quick definition of what an astral temple is. It's your own version of heaven that you created it on your own mind, and you project yourself into that image. You know what I mean? Before you go to sleep. And if you don't do it before you go to sleep, wake yourself up in the middle of the night and do it then. However you want to do it. So I've been able to do this without breaking consciousness. And I've been able to get myself into a meditative state to where I'm here in the physical world, and I'm literally projecting myself into the image I have in my mind's eye, and I can walk around in this image and do all type of stuff in this image without having a break of consciousness where I was asleep for like an hour, then I woke up and all that. I did it directly from being awake, directly to projecting myself into the astral temple. So I know it's possible because I've done it myself. So that's just a quick version of what the astral temple is for those who may not have known what I was speaking about. How do you put yourself into a trance? It is more so, there's many ways to do it. It's not just one way to do it. So let me not say that. There's many, many ways, and you just have to find a way that works for you. Some people do alternative breathing out the right nostril, then breathing out the left, right, left, right, left, right. Some people just breathe out of one, breathing strictly through your left or breathing strictly through your right. Some people like to lay down. Some people like to sit up. Some people like to get into their yoga posture. Some people like to chant a mantra in their mind while they're laying down. You know what I mean? Like, it's not no right way to do it. You just have to know what works for you. Like, you have to surround yourself with the things that relax you. Some people like lighting incense. Some people like lighting candles. Some people like being in complete darkness. Some people need a night light. You know what I mean? It all depends on, you have to create a space that completely relaxes you so that you can relax and that you can let go. You know what I mean? So Some people like to put a bandana around their eyes so that they can be in complete darkness. You know? So it all depends. You just have to surround yourself by the things that relax you so that you can get into a meditative state. Also, read the book Astral Dynamics, once again by Robert Bruce, because he goes into that as well. He's not just talking about astral traveling, he's talking about how to get into a trance state. He speaks about all these things in that book. So definitely check out that book as well. He has techniques outlined in that book to help you get into that trance state, to help you stay awake during the astrals, to help you record your dreams. Like, the whole process is documented within that book. That's why I always recommend that book. The whole process is already outlined for you. You know what I mean? You just got to put in the work and read the motherfucker, you know? What do I think about EA coding? I'm not familiar with who that is. I believe is that a person who wrote a book about astral travel? I think that's who you're referring to. They wrote a book about astral travel, if I'm not mistaken. But yes, there are other astral travel books out there. And again, I encourage everybody to each his own. Whatever technique works for you, you know what I mean? Go with it. Whatever works for you, go with it. Write that book. I'm definitely gonna write the book, man. I definitely plan on releasing the book by August. You know what I mean? Sometime in August. So I'm definitely writing it up. But New Noise said you haven't learned shit in college. Well, man, you know, like, I don't have any experience in college, so I can't really speak on it. Like, what? So I suggest, you know, if you're not learning nothing, you gotta make the best of your time and try to learn something anyway. You know, maybe you need to just speak to people that are learning something. Like, yo, what are you learning? What classes are you taking? You may need to switch up your classes. You know what I mean? To reflect, you know, things that spark your interest a little bit more. You know what I mean? You may need to switch up your classes. You may need to switch up your circle of friends. Or you may need to go to a whole different college. You know what I mean? I can't speak about that, but to each his own, right? You know what I mean? Maybe you just need to change up the structure a little bit. You dropped out of that shit. You know what I mean? I fully understand why a person would drop out, because they felt like they're wasting their time. So I understand both perspectives. You know what I mean? I understand why people don't go, and I understand why people do go. You know what I mean? It can be a beneficial experience for some, but for other people, it's a waste of time. But you know what I mean? That's why we have the ability to do alternative things. So you don't need a college education, but depending on where you're trying to go in life, you may need a college education. It all depends on what you're trying to do with your life. So definitely have a master plan for life. Have a master plan for life. Then figure out a way to, okay, how am I going to achieve this master plan? Does it take a college degree? Can I do it without a college degree? Okay, if I don't have a college degree, what do I need, you know, to get to this space that I can be comfortable? So you definitely got to map it out. Definitely map it out, you know what I mean? Before you make any decisions, definitely map out your life so you know whatever route you take, you have a path. So that you're just not out here, you know, in the streets or in the world, you're just wandering around without direction. You definitely want to have a master plan and map it out so that, you know, every day you're moving a step closer to, you know, accomplishing your goals, because you got it mapped out, because you know, like, all right, this is what I need to accomplish these goals. I need these certain resources. This is what I got to do to get these certain resources. This is pretty much how long it's going to take me to get these resources. So you can give yourself a full timeline, you know, just map it out. Map out the whole thing from beginning to end. Now, of course, things are not going to happen all according to plan, and you may even have to make some modifications to that plan, but at least have some type of direction as to, you know, how long it's going to take, what resources you're going to need, how can you get these resources, what are your options. So when you do your spiritual work, you know what I mean, you already have an idea of what to expect and how things could play out, as opposed to you're just doing spiritual work and you have no idea how things will play out. But even if you don't have a plan, you know, you can still go out here and find a plan if you don't have one. So if you don't have a plan, that's okay too. It may take you some time to develop a plan. You know what I mean? You may need to go out into the world and live a little bit more life till you figure out what you want to do with your life. And there's nothing wrong with that either. You know what I mean? So to each his own. You know what I mean? You have to create your own path. We can't compare ourselves to other people, because, you know, that completely knocks you off, because you feel like, oh, I'm 30, I should have this by 30, I should have this by 40, I should have already done this in life. You know, we can't compare ourselves to other people, because that's what set us back even further. You know what I mean? We have to be the captain of our ship at all times and play our cards and mind our own business. Stay out of other people's business. We must mind our own business. You know what I mean? So, thank you for being an inspiration. No problem, man. This is what I do. College is an initiation. You know, I can see why you say that. You know what I mean? A lot of people go to college to become a part of fraternities. You know, a lot of people go to college, become a part of fraternity. Then by being associated with that fraternity, you know, that gives you certain doors are open to you. You may be able to get in certain fields of work because you are associated with a certain fraternity. So that fraternity may guarantee you certain jobs. You know what I mean? So like, okay, you become a part of this fraternity, we're gonna make sure that you have a job when you come out of college. We're gonna guarantee you a job. So again, it's like, I understand why people go to college. You know what I mean? I understand, like, there are certain perks that are available for people who are built for that lifestyle. Everybody not built, you know, to sit at a desk for 8 hours and learn like that. Some people need to be out in the streets and, you know, be on their grind and be on their hustle. You know what I mean? So it just depends. You just have to know how you work. And when you know how you work, then you will know how to put yourself in the position that you need to be in. Again, everybody not meant to be entrepreneurs. Some people want to sit at a desk, behind a desk for 8 hours and make their $20 an hour and live good. You know what I mean? And to each his own. Again, I'm not mad at nobody for whatever route they choose to go down. It is what it is. You just have to know how you work so that you can position yourself where you want to be so that you can be happy in your life. Because if you end up working a job you hate, then, you know, you gotta reposition yourself so that you can do something that you love. As long as you are doing what you love, then you're winning that life. You must follow your heart. You must follow your dreams. Do what you love to do. So even if you're not doing what you love to do, at least have a plan to do what you love to do at some point in life, so that you don't leave this world with regrets. You know what I mean? So again, if you got to work your 9 to 5 till you can do what you love to do, then so be it. Again, everybody not going to be successful at 20. Everybody not going to be successful at 30. Some people become millionaires in their 40s, 50s, 60s. You know what I mean? We can't compare ourselves to everybody else. Everybody ain't going to be a teenage star. You know what I mean? Everybody not going to be that dude in high school, that dude in college. Everybody not going to be that famous football player, basketball player. That's not everybody's life. But whatever your life is, whatever your cause is, you must play your hand to the best of your ability, because life is a game. You know what I mean? The game of life. Life is like roaming through a video game. You know what I mean? Every decision you make is going to have a long-term effect, even if we don't look at it that way. You know what I mean? The day that you decided to turn left instead of going right, that's going to affect the rest of your life. You know what I mean? So, you know, just putting certain things into perspective. You know what I mean? We got 19. I said low key is a gain, a network. I can see that. You know, college and fraternities is definitely, it's a clique. It's very cliquish. I agree. You know what I mean? It's very cliquish. And for some people, they prefer that. And for other people, that's like a brick wall that they just can't penetrate. You know, so it all depends on who you are. So if you ain't with the shits, then, you know what I mean, you know you gotta do it on your own. But if you with the shits, then you know you got a network you can go to. So, oh yeah, I was just talking about, now that you brought that up, the guy I was talking about last night, that I was talking about earlier in the video, he told me that it's very hard to get casino jobs here in Vegas. Because you would think, yo, it's casinos all over the place. It's pretty easy to get a casino job. Not necessarily. He said out of his own mouth, it's based on who you know. And the only reason he had the job that he had, because he works at a casino, the only reason he worked at a casino because his girl or his woman worked at a casino and she recommended him. Because he said he was applying for casino jobs for years and he had a long, extensive resume. So he was a person with a long resume who didn't put in the work over years and who was trying to get into a casino for years. And he finally got into one because he met a girl who was already connected. You know what I mean? And they created a bond and she was able to get him in there. So it is really about who you know more so than what your experience is. It is very cliquish, but that's just the way the world works. You know, a person is quicker to hire somebody they know over somebody they don't know. But that's what it is. You know, that's what family business is all about. Like, we're going to make sure everybody in the family eating before we start hiring people outside the family. And again, that's why people join fraternities. That's why people join organizations. That's why people become part of networks for that very reason, because it pretty much guarantees you a spot within the organization before they start hiring people outside of the organization. And that's just how life works. You know what I mean? It's not about what you know. It's about who you know. It's not about what your experience is. It's about who do you have experience with. You know? That's just how the game go, right? If you're into technology, IT certs are worth more and take less time than I'm getting tongue twisted. If you're into technology, IT certs, I guess certifications, are worth more and take less time than a degree. So, for those who are into technology, there you go. You may want to take up some IT certifications. You know what I mean? To make sure that, you know, you got a slot in there. You know, you can't go wrong, you know, with a science degree, a mathematics degree, a technology degree, or an engineering degree. You know, that's definitely going to guarantee you a job. You know what I mean? For those who are walking that path, you know what I mean? Like I said, I'm not here to downgrade nobody's way of life. So I'm here to give everybody information from all different angles and all different perspectives. You know? To each his own. So just giving y'all some game, and I'm reading all the comments as well. I appreciate everybody for adding on. Because, of course, I don't know everything. Greetings. What's up, Kush Goddess? I see you. Scientology had me do the personality test and tried to send me a book to help me solve issues. Oh, EA Coden is a magician. Okay. Yeah, I did the, you know, because Scientology is super big in LA, so I did a personality test before, but I wasn't really feeling the Dianetics? I wasn't really feeling it because I didn't really understand it. But I learned later on that L. Ron Hubbard, because he started Scientology, he doesn't even take credit for Dianetics, because I believe that's his most famous work is Dianetics. But he doesn't even take credit for it. He like, yo, I got this from the sages in India or the Hindus. He like, I didn't even create this system. This system comes from the sages in India. So once I learned that, I'm like, maybe I need to check that book out. Because I was always thinking that he created this system out of his own mind, but he doesn't even take credit for it. You know, because they started to implement Dianetics within the Nation of Islam. And a lot of people was like, yo, L. Ron Hubbard was a racist. Like, why is Louis Farrakhan even having his system a racist? You know, why is he even giving this system to the people? And I'm like, yo, he didn't even invent the system himself. He don't even take credit for it. So once I learned that piece of information, it definitely gave me a different perspective of Scientology. I'm like, I can at least give it a read, give the book a read, and kind of see where the sages are coming from. But I haven't read it, so I can't speak about it from a positive angle or negative angle, because I haven't read the book. But that's what I do know, and that's the energy I can give to it. So if anybody has read the Dianetics book, you know what I mean, you let me know if it's that shit or if it's not. You know what I mean? It's the same thing with the Amazing Secrets of the Yogi by Charles Hannell. He didn't write that. He got it from the yogis. He got it from the sages of the time. You know. So for anybody who wrote a book and who got it from people that was older than them, in terms of people who were in an older culture than them, then I'm interested in those type of books. For somebody who pretty much just studied another culture and they embraced the culture and they just wanted to learn the culture, you know, I can get with that. So let's see. Oh, he worked with Super Dark-ish. Are you talking about L. Ron Hubbard, or are you talking about E.A. Coding? But again, I'm not familiar with E.A. Coding, so I can't speak on his works, and I can't speak on his life. I'm not really familiar with him. But from what you're saying, if he is a magician, if you are familiar with him, then I'm pretty sure that he can benefit. You say he was casting spells, making pacts with demons. So if that's your lane, then that's your lane. You know what I mean? If that's something that he did, and you want to follow suit because you feel that it will benefit you in some way, then, you know, I encourage you to, you know, find out for yourself if that's what's for you. You know what I mean? Again, we ain't here to judge about what a person should or shouldn't be doing, what's right or what's wrong. To each his own, because power can be found within any system. So yeah, the great old ones, you know, that Cthulhu, that Necronomicon, you know what I mean? Yeah, I know all about that. So again, it all depends. If you with the shits, then it is what it is. You dropped out twice before you graduated. Uh-oh, hold on. 1 second. Got these bugs crawling on me. Okay, let me walk over here. Everybody's pretty much gone. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Let me change the location. Let me sit over here. Y'all can see me a little bit better now. All right. All right. So, salute to you, Afro Pick, for finally graduating. Although you dropped out 2 times beforehand, you know what I mean? But you suck it through, and you graduated, you know what I mean? So, definitely congratulations for the graduation. You know, everybody can't stick it out, especially after dropping out twice. You know what I mean? Everybody wouldn't be able to stick it out. You know what I mean? So you definitely deserve a congratulations for that hard work, because it's not easy. You know what I mean? So again, I can salute you. I can definitely salute you. Much respect for that. Much respect. Should I go for something I'm not incredibly passionate about? I'm not seeing why you would do that. Like if you know, everybody may not know what their passion is in life. You know, you may not find out what your passion is till you 30, but if you're fortunate enough to know what your passion is already, then I would say pursue your passion. Now again, you know what I mean, you may need to work a little 9 to 5, you know, just to keep your bills paid, to keep clothes in your back, to keep yourself fed. But you always have in the back of your mind that this is what I plan to do. Now again, everybody is not willing to just go head first, you know what I mean, and follow their passion. Some people need a security, some people need as they call a safety net. So, but everybody, everybody's different, so to each his own. So however you choose to play that out, it's up to you. But if you know what your passion is, then definitely cultivate your passions. Cultivate your passions if you already know what it is. Yeah, Afro Pick going in about this college experience. But we all appreciate it. You know what I mean? Because everybody didn't have the opportunity to go to college. So for those who have, you know what I mean, I definitely welcome hearing different experiences, because I don't, that ain't my life. You know what I mean? So I don't know nothing about college. So for somebody who do know about that life, who then went through those struggles, you know what I mean? I'm always all ears. You know what I mean? Because I couldn't tell you nothing about college. You know what I mean? I may be able to tell you about these streets. But you know what I mean? I couldn't tell you nothing about college. So I appreciate, Afro Pick for sharing your college experiences, again, for graduating. You said you majored in something you're not really passionate about, but it was worth it, because you made friends and family along the way. And I completely understand that. To me, that's what college is about. It ain't even about just necessarily getting a degree. It's also about, you're right, the relationships and the connections you build in the meantime. That's definitely a big part of the college experience. You know what I mean? So you say they're like, the money was crazy, the experience was crazy, but it was worth it because of the people I met. I can fully understand that. And I can completely understand, why you chose to go back and why you completed it. You know what I mean? So again, much salute to everybody who graduated and who stuck it through. And salute to everybody who chose to become an entrepreneur. You know what I mean? Because they realized that it wasn't for them. You know what I mean? So I salute both sides. I salute y'all. You know what I mean? Because I know it's not easy, whether you an entrepreneur or whether you went to college. Like it ain't easy. You got to be putting in work. You're not just gonna get a degree thrown at you, and you're not just gonna have a successful small business or big business just haphazardly. You know what I mean? So it take work. No matter what path you go down in life, it all take work. So again, I salute everybody who's putting in that work, who's creating a path for themselves where there was no path beforehand. Check out Indigo Priestess. So I guess everybody go check out Indigo Priestess. Yeah, because I have no idea who that is. Asha, you're struggling with manifestation. Any helpful advice would be greatly appreciated. Now, if you're having problems with manifestation, then it's really just all about it's about self right now in your life. That can be possible to the point where you kind of gotta test the waters. It may be certain things that's easier for you to manifest. Money, but if you're trying to manifest like a partnership with somebody, that may come with a lot more resistance. Due to it may be some type of blockages that you need to clear out before you're able to do that. But when it comes to money, you're able just to get that, without even thinking about it. So I definitely encourage you to master the thing that you know that you can easily manifest. Perfect your craft, you know what I mean? And then slowly branch out, because depending on what you're trying to manifest is going to require certain things of you. You know what I mean? So just whatever it is that you're trying to manifest, perfect your niche. So I'm not going to say perfect your craft. Perfect your niche. Everybody has a niche. So again, if you're good at manifesting money, then master manifesting money. If you're a person that's good at manifesting material goods, then perfect that. If you're a person that's good at manifesting friends, and connections and relationships, then you perfect that. You know what I mean? You just gotta find your niche. Find your niche. What you know that you can do. You don't have to think twice about it. You don't have no doubts in your mind. Perfect your niche, then slowly branch out after you perfect your niche. But don't just try to be doing all type of stuff haphazardly, stuff that you don't really need. You know what I mean? Perfect your niche first, then branch out. Huh. So, you hate college, but you're using it you're going in a perspective of using it as a learning experience. I understand that. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? So salute to you, new noise, you know what I mean? Stick it through, get that degree, whatever degree you're going to get, you know what I mean? And utilize it to, prepare yourself to live the life that you want to live. You can manifest materialistic things. As I said, I guess people don't talk about that. Like everybody has a niche that they can manifest things easier. Everybody has a niche. Everybody can't manifest everything. There's a certain things that's going to be easier for you to manifest than others. So you just got to perfect your niche. When you perfect your niche, then you know what I mean, you can kind of navigate beyond it. You want to be an entrepreneur, you know what I mean? So definitely an entrepreneur with a college degree, you know what I mean? It shouldn't be too hard. You know what I mean? Just stick with it. What made me leave Detroit? I got kicked out, bro. Because I didn't want to go to school. You know what I mean? I was fed up with school before. I didn't even graduate high school, bro. I had to get a GED. I was just fed up with school, you know what I mean? I was just tired of the racism. I was tired of the classism, because again, I always was awakened, you know what I mean? So I was able to see through all the fuck shit. So it made me depressed. So I'm not going back to school. I went to school for 12 years, but I'm like, man, fuck this. I don't like the energy. You know what I mean? I don't like it. I don't like the fact that I'm in high school and we had to read out loud books with the word nigga in it. And it's a majority white school. And it's like 2005. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't feeling that. Like, why the fuck are we reading a book with the word nigger in it? And it's 2005. Like, you motherfuckers can't upgrade the book. You know what I mean? So I wasn't feeling that. I'm like, fuck this. So I moved to LA, got my GED, and started working. Cause my mom was like, all right, well, you're not just gonna be in my house eating up my fucking food. You got to do something. So it was either Job Corps or go to LA and make my own way. So I went to LA. You know what I mean? So that's how that was. You know what I mean? It was this way. I'm pretty. You got to get out into this world and make a way for yourself. You know what I mean? LA loves me. You already know. Like I agree. You know what I mean? My experience in LA has been nothing but mystical, nothing but magical. It was in LA that I perfected my spirituality in LA. I perfected my spirituality in LA. You know what I mean? So like the seed was planted in Detroit. The seed was planted in Detroit, but it was cultivated and it started to grow in LA. LA seems more open and free compared to Detroit. It definitely is, especially now, 2018 LA. Because I came to LA, it was 2009. So you still had gang members walking up and down the streets, pressing you and shit, like, where the fuck you from? I was getting pressed. You ain't got to deal with that shit nowadays. You know what I mean? That's over with and done. It's safe as fuck in LA now. So LA is definitely open and free. But it's all about that hustle, you know what I mean? Because the cost of living is pretty high, but it's motherfuckers out there making it happen. You know what I mean? So it's just a whole different lifestyle, You know, a lot of people are intimidated by LA, just like a lot of people are intimidated by New York. You know what I mean? But you just gotta be a person that your willpower gotta exceed all things. Your willpower has to exceed all things. So, you know, you can make it anywhere. You put your mind to it, right? We know that. You can make it anywhere. Give me 1 second. Let me sip. We're gonna sip on a drink. All right. You was in Mexico and your spirituality slowed down. Soon you got back to LA, you got back. Yeah, I can understand that. But you know, I guess in Mexico it ain't really about spirituality. They're more cultural. They're more into tradition and culture more so than spirituality. So I can understand that. Yeah, you probably won't really run into people who know anything about the law of attraction and, you know, meditation and all that. You know what I mean? They're more into, you know, what their traditions are. You know. But even that has its place. You know. So even that has its place. I experienced what you said when you were in Atlanta. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. Yeah, Atlanta, man. Atlanta was tough. I'm not gonna lie. Atlanta was real tough. Real tough. I mean, it was real tough. You know what I mean? It's definitely the spirituality in Atlanta is definitely it's still young. I'm not gonna say it's not there. Cause I definitely knew I met some wonderful people in Atlanta, and I'm thankful for I'm thankful for the experience. You know, met some wonderful people, but definitely the spirituality as a whole is still very, very, very young. Whether as you go to LA, you can walk up to a random person and they know what the law of attraction is. They may know what Think and Grow Rich is. You know what I mean? That information is more, you know, because LA has a lot more history in spirituality, especially because, you know, LA, they was, you know, back in the 60s, the hippie movement and all that, it was big in LA. It was big on the West Coast. So the West Coast has a lot more history in you know, the liberal way of thinking. You know, that's why, you know, the marijuana was legalized in LA because, you know, a lot of people had parents and all that and grandparents who was very liberal in their thinking. You know what I mean? So definitely, you know, doing your history on what happened in these cities definitely gives you a perspective of the energy in the city. Yeah. Think you can compare ATL to Chirac? Well, Atlanta would definitely be a lot more slower than Chicago. I know, you know, the Windy City. I know things move crazy fast. Cause you know, being Detroit is right next door basically. So I know things move crazy fast. And you know, Atlanta is just more. It's the South. You know what I mean? Like Atlanta is the South, so the South. They have a certain mentality there. You know, their mentality is different there. You know what I mean? But you know, it's changing now. You know, it's, you know, due to the gentrification. So you have a lot more people in Atlanta. Because I guess Atlanta used to be, I guess they called it like the chocolate city. You know, the last chocolate city. But it's a lot of different cultures in Atlanta at this point. I consider Atlanta a young LA. That's how I view it. Like Atlanta reminded me a lot of LA. It reminded me a lot of, it's like a young LA. Whereas Chicago had grandparents that were from the South, such as myself. My grandparents was from the South. My great grandparents, they came from the South to Detroit. So a lot of people have Southern roots lot more quicker, a lot more faster. I believe Chicago is a lot bigger too. So it is completely different. It's completely different. Like Atlanta, it's a lot of land. The homes are beautiful. You know what I mean? That's where people go to, you know, buy a home, because I guess the homes are a lot more cheaper. Then, you know, you go somewhere like Chicago, the dynamics, the economic differences are prevalent. So it's just a completely different vibe, completely different vibe. You know, I would say, you know, Chicago is more for people, you know, people who prefer the fast life. You know, people who like a lot of things happening. In Atlanta for people who, you know, kind of like things going a little bit more in slow motion. Like, Atlanta is like the earth element. If we want to take it to chemistry and alchemy, Atlanta is the earth element, whereas Chicago would be the air element, which is a mix of fire and water. So, you know what I mean? You have Atlanta, it's just all about building. It's all about creating a foundation. A lot of people go to Atlanta to start their foundation and to build from there. And, you know, Chicago, again, is like the windy city. You know, you're dealing with a mix of fire and air, you know, which is obviously completely different than the earth. You know, so it's more about networking, moving fast, you know what I mean, who you know, connections, being tapped in, you know what I mean? So it's completely different, you know what I mean? The history is completely different. And I definitely would say Chicago is a lot more liberating. You know, because again, when you're dealing with down south, you know, a lot of people still have a slave mentality and have accepted that mentality because it's kind of put in your face, you know what I mean? Whereas Chicago, you really don't have that. Just like in LA, you don't have that. In New York, you don't have that. In the South, you got places like, yo, this where this happened, this where that happened. Well, this river did this river did that. You know, they link it up back to slavery times, and it kind of has an effect on the mind. Whether you go to LA, New York, Chicago, Detroit, you don't have that because slavery wasn't, you know, in those places as prominent as it was in the South. So you really don't have that mentality. People not growing up with that type of mentality, you know. So it's completely different. So with that, we're gonna get up out of here. Yeah, we'll get up out of here. We've been on here almost 3 hours. You know what I mean? So I gave y'all as much game as I could. Unless anybody got any final questions, we're gonna get up out of here. Yeah, it's definitely time to get up out of Michigan. Go to New York. If you prefer the heat, then go to LA. You know what I mean? If you prefer the fast life, fast life, then come to Vegas. Vegas is like the New York of the West Coast. Because even in LA, you know, things slow down. You know, things shut down at night. Things never stop in Vegas. Vegas is a 24/7 city, just like New York is. So, you know, everything is still open. You know, you can still go to casinos, gas stations, people still walking around on the strip, people still walking up and down Fremont. You know what I mean? You can wake up at 3 in the morning and find something to do here. You may not be able to do that in LA. You know what I mean? But you can do that in New York. So again, it all depends on the type of person you are. You know what I mean? But I personally don't see a reason to be in a small city. I'll say, yo, be in a big city, especially if you in Detroit, you already used to being in a big city. So I mean, it don't make no sense to move to no small town. You gotta go to the big cities, man. LA, New York, Vegas. Vegas is not really that big, but it's just a lot going on. It's like the fast life. So it all depends on the type of person you are. You know what I mean? Cost of living is different. Like I said, for $1,200 in LA, you living in a 1-bedroom apartment. $1,200 here, you can live in a house, 3-bedroom home for $1,200. So it all depends. But again, you gotta deal with the desert. You gotta deal with what comes with living in a desert. You know, especially the sun in the summer. In the summertime, the sun don't play. You're not even gonna see people outside. You know what I mean? The sun ain't nothing to play with in the summertime. Even now, even in the springtime. So every day you walk outside, you're gonna be sweating. So just, you know, you got to take that into consideration. So, you know, just giving you some recommendations. You're gonna be off the water, then yeah, then definitely go to Cali, man. Definitely go to Cali if you want to be by some water, or I guess maybe even down south if you want to be by some water. Or I guess it just depends on, you know, it's a lot of places you can go if you just want to be by a body of water or a river or a lake. There's a lot of places you can go. Oh, you said you're a writer? I don't know. Maybe you may prefer New York if you're a writer. You know what I mean? Maybe you may prefer New York. You know, that type of lifestyle. I encourage you to visit these places though. Visit. Put your mind to it and visit. You know, go visit and check it out. Check out New York, man. Check out LA. Check out Vegas. You know, check out Atlanta. You may even like Atlanta. You know what I mean? Check out Chicago. Where else? You know, check out Miami. It's a lot of places. Yeah, you're talking about you want to be by the water. Even Miami. Miami. You know, it all depends. Again, don't worry about the cost of living and all that. It's like everybody got to start somewhere. Everybody got to start somewhere. You just got to be willing to put in that work and grind so that you can live well. So, you know, you just got to speak with the people and find out how they do it. Like, yo, instead of, because a lot of people are intimidated by LA and New York. Like, yo, how are they even paying all that rent? I believe Manhattan has the highest rent of any city in America. But all you gotta do, like I've been to Manhattan, and I know why that is. And you just gotta talk with the people, like, yo, how do people do it here? You know, with the rent being so high, you know, how do people make it here? You just gotta talk to the people, and they give you the game. They show you exactly, yo, this is what you gotta do if you're trying to be successful. You just gotta tap into the people, and they'll let you know, what it takes to be successful in that particular time. You know what I mean? Definitely, you get in tune with the locals, and, you know, they'll put you up on game. Oh yeah, definitely Seattle. Yeah, definitely Seattle. Seattle, a lot of rain in Seattle. You know, shout out to Seattle. You know, more cities just come up as we go, but it's definitely a lot of places you can go, man. You wouldn't go to Chirac? I can understand why. You know, but it all depends on where you are, though. You know what I mean? It all depends on where you. It don't matter what city you go to. It really depends on where you are. Like every city got bad neighborhoods. Every city got crime. Every city got, you know, all types of madness going on. It just all depends on where you are. You know what I mean? There's bad places in LA. There's bad places in New York. There's bad places everywhere. It just all depends on where you go and who you choose to hang with and who you choose to be around. You know what I mean? Every city got safe areas. You know, every city got places that you can be, and you ain't gotta worry about, you know, no fuckery. You know, that's any city. You know, it's savages in every city, man. So, I mean, Chicago is just a light on Chicago, but it's savages in every city, man. Every city got their savages, because it's just the poverty, man. Poverty creates savages, and every city has poverty, so every city is gonna have savages. You know what I mean? That's any city, but don't mean that you got to be involved in that lifestyle. If that ain't, you know, if that's not you, don't mean that you ain't even got to deal with the savages. You know what I mean? You just have to just don't be around. Don't get caught up in it. You know what I mean? You mind your business. You ain't got nothing to do with that. Yeah, if you the type of motherfucker trying to pull up on old block, then yeah, you will have some problems. Like this, I mean, don't let the hip hop fool you, man. Don't let the hip hop make you think that these cities are not beautiful. These is beautiful. You know, downtown Chicago is beautiful, man. Beautiful, absolutely stunning. You know what I mean? Don't let hip hop and these beefs, don't let them take away the beauty of the cities. These are very, very beautiful cities with beautiful people and a lot of opportunity. You know what I mean? Beyond just what's spoken about in these songs. You know, this rap music. You know? An artist isn't made, an artist is born. Yeah, definitely an artist is born, but an artist must cultivate their gifts. You know what I mean? So you can be born an artist, but if you don't cultivate your gift, then what's the point? You know what I mean? You gotta actually utilize your gift if you're born with it. You gotta use it. Use it or use it or lose it, right? Yeah, so like I said, yeah, unless y'all got any more questions, we just pretty much kicking it at this point. You know what I mean? We didn't been on here like 3 hours. So I definitely didn't plan on being on here that long. But y'all know, once we get to kicking it, then you know we be cooling. You know, all type of information be coming up. So we just connecting. Like I said, since I don't get to speak to y'all as often, definitely wanted to make my presence felt and feel everybody else's presence. Y'all know. Like I said, we definitely, so it don't, I'll leave y'all with these words. Show us the view. You talking about where I'm at right now? You wanna see a 360 of where I am? I can show you a 360 if that's what you're talking about, but I don't know if that's what you're talking about. Alright, yeah. Okay, yeah. Let me I can show y'all a 360. It's not nothing. Alright, this is a library, obviously. You see it's a library. But I can walk, let me walk down a little bit. Let me show y'all some of the, see if y'all can see some of these Vegas lights. Let's see if I can show y'all without the signal messing up too much. So if it start messing up, then we're gonna get up off. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Let me get over here. See what I can show y'all before we get up out of here. Put this right here. Let's see what we got. 1 second. 1 second. All right. Let me see. Yeah, love you too, bro. New noise. All right, so hopefully this is clear. Hold on. Let's see if I can wipe the camera off. Let me see if it's focused. Sorry, there's so many lights, it's blurry as fuck, but there we go, it's a little clearer now. I didn't expect the lights to be doing all that though. I don't know if y'all see the Ferris wheel. Yeah. Hold on. Y'all see the little Ferris wheel and all that? Yeah, all right. So, turn it around. So yeah, next time Next time I can be on the strip. You know what I mean? I could be on the strip next time. I think I only, it's traffic, oh yeah. Yeah, it'd be crazy, you know what I mean? Again, it's 24/7 in Vegas and shit don't stop. So, you know, this is Flamingo. You know what I mean? The street Flamingo. For those who don't know. Like I said, so next time I can be on the strip and I can show y'all, you know, a couple, then I can show y'all some images, some sites from Fremont. So you got the entertainment places. You got Vegas, not Vegas. You got the strip, then you got Fremont. Fremont is like more so for the locals. The strip is more so for the tourists. Like I said, give you all this. All right. So it ain't too much going on. It ain't too much going on. So, like I said, next time I'll be on the strip. And let me go back over here because, you know, obviously traffic. Y'all probably can't hear me. Hold on. But we're gonna get up out of here in a second. So yeah, so I'll definitely be showing y'all a lot more visuals of Vegas now that I'm out here a lot more often. You know what I mean? I made sure all my obligations was taken care of, so I'm able to be out here a lot more often. So I definitely can show y'all some scenery. So I don't think I showed. You know, I guess I kind of showed like some parks. I think I may have shown y'all the strip like years ago. I think I haven't showed y'all the strip recently, and the strip changes like every 2 years. So I haven't showed y'all the updated version of the strip. So I'll definitely give y'all some more visuals. Like I said, I'll show y'all Fremont, and yeah, you know what I mean. So definitely stay tuned. Again, I'm not gonna guarantee you like, yeah, I'll be here tomorrow and all that. Hey, what's up? What's up? I see you, Natalie. I see you, Natalie. So next time y'all see me, yeah, I'll definitely show y'all some more visuals. You know what I mean? Like be amongst, maybe less of me talking. Maybe I just be walking through Fremont or walking through the strip, so y'all can just kind of get a feel of it. And so just less of me talk and more y'all just kind of tuning in, getting a vibe for it. So you know what I mean? I'll show y'all a lot more in the future. What's up, Prime Ascension? Yo, what's up? But we about to get out of here. About 1 minute. So I appreciate everybody for sticking around the 3 hours for all the internet disconnections. You know what I mean? Y'all saw me at sunset. You know what I mean? Appreciate y'all for sticking through. And we gonna get up out of here. I'll see y'all a little bit later. Stay focused, stay humble. You know what I mean? Keep studying yourself, defining yourself, being yourself, accepting your own. Creating your world from the inside out. And y'all already know. So yeah, we out. So peace, hotep, madness, chaos, destruction, hardship, and success. Success after hardship, you know, and all that good stuff. Then success from miracles as well, because everything doesn't have to be a hardship. Okay. No problem. All right, we're going to get up out of here. Hotep.